Butler, this is what I told you. That's 6. He just gave himself room and hit it straight over the bowler's head. He's got 3 boundaries of the first 3 deliveries.
Just Butler takes him on, back over his head, long enough for 6.
Lanka comes in. And oh no, that's 4 more.
Well, I don't know whose idea it was to lay the dulcet tones of Roshan Abisingh's commentary of T20 cricket over that music bed, but I like it. Jos Buttler, a 100th T20. He's gone past Jimmy Anderson's record in terms of the number of appearances for England. 402 caps. He's played in excess of 100 T20s, 100 ODIs, and 57, I think, 56, 57 test matches. Brilliant stuff from him. And on he goes. World Cup winner in T20 and 50 over formats. And after the last game, well, it got even better for Jos. He got to speak to our very own Scott Taylor.
It's quite surreal, really, to have played that many games, and obviously most of them in the white ball formats, which you can play a lot more games in those. But yeah, I think a lot of your career you're just trying to work hard, get better, what's next. But having now played for a while, I know that these moments you should really take it in and just pause and reflect, and yeah, feel really grateful to have played this many games of cricket for England.
And just looking back on the immediate, how does it feel to become England's all-time leading appearance maker?
Yeah, really surreal. I think as that kid who's picked up a bat first, to play one game for England would have been amazing. So to have played so many is fantastic. There's been so many people, along the way, and part of that journey, and supporting me and helping me, and wife and kids at home who've sacrificed a lot. And yeah, especially my parents, who I know would have been incredibly proud. To think that I've played this many games for England.
What's been the proudest thing looking back on the 15 years? Is it the achievements, the trophies, or is it the longevity, staying at the top of the game for 15 years now?
I think all of it, to be honest. Obviously the trophies are very special. To have especially the World Cup wins, I think of incredibly fondly, and you never know what's ahead, so it's hard to say that's the most enjoyable time of my career right now, but that period of course from 2015 to 2019 was amazing. So yeah, there's so many different moments, and so a lot of the moments actually are not on the field at all, and shared the dressing room there with some great people, and we've had a lot of laughs along the way, so it's been good fun.
And you saw the Duckworth-Lewis target change after the rain break. I guess that's another example of how the game's changed since when you started to now, that these totals are quite chaseable nowadays. Yeah,
I think just the sort of calm nature that we chase that with shows the ability obviously in the team, and the way that cricket is, and batters view sort of a lot of runs off not that many balls now. So the 6 hitting ability in the team is amazing, and I think that sort of takes a lot of pressure off you as a batter, to know that you can clear the ropes and hit 6s. And I thought the boys, Harry Brooks' innings was incredible. Tom Banton, to see the team all the way through, to be not out at the end along with Sam Curran, it's a really good performance.
You saw the ability with the ball in the first T20 and that power with the bat. How excited are you about this generation of the T20 side?
Yeah, absolutely. I think players just keep getting better and better. I think that's what you see, and there's a lot of talent in that dressing room. There's some good experience around the group as well. So it's a really nice mixture, I think, and a lot of guys who are really hungry for success and want to play well and do better. So yeah, it's a good recipe in that dressing room at the moment.
Well, it is brilliant to hear such a chilled out and relaxed and happy sounding Jos Buttler reflecting on what has been a brilliant and quite remarkable career today. Another chilled out and relaxed man is Steve Harmison, who no doubt has really taken it easy and enjoyed the build up to this third T20 without any of the stresses and strains that you would get in normal life. Harmy, how are things out?
Are you winding me up? Are you winding me up? Wow, I've just had 2 of the most, wildest white knuckle rides you would not believe. Getting from the ground, I got to the ground here. I was comfortably at the ground here for, time was it, Scott? 4:30? 4:30, 4:45, sitting nicely, making me notes, putting everything in place, thinking who England were going to play. and then this outfit that I've been wearing for the first 2 ODIs. I didn't get the message. Obviously, I'm not in the commentators group chat for the TV, and it was decided that all 4 have come in with that attire on, and mine's still hanging up in my wardrobe in the hotel. So it was a 45-minute journey there, which took 40 minutes, and it was supposed to be a 45-minute journey back, which took 38 minutes, I think, and it was all on the wrong side of the road, flashing lights, tooting horns, but I'm here. Wow.
You want to talk about a bit of cricket?
No, I'm not bothered about the cricket. I must admit, I'm just trying to calm down. I'm literally getting. My fingernails are starting to go back the right colour. I mean, it was madness. But no, England are going to obviously bat first, and I'm assuming that's because it was a better pitch the other night. It's the same pitches we're on, and I'm assuming that Harry wants to try something different. So yeah, good for England. Disappointing that Salt's not going to have a game. I'm encouraged by Wood playing. I think the balance of the side, still doesn't, for me, look the greatest when it comes to the bowling department and how you get through the first 6 overs and possibly the last 3 overs and not having another death bowler. But if Luke Wood was to do well in this game, possibly he could force his way into reckoning for the World Cup.
You made you've been making some brilliant points throughout the series. Just give us your thoughts on Jacob Bethel, because of course with that situation, Duckett missed out first 2 games because of the problem with his finger. Tom Banton comes in, really impresses in that second match in particular, and if he does so again, Duckett's back in the side as well. So if Duckett scores some runs today and Banton, any chance or any danger that maybe Jacob Bethel actually might miss out from the starting 11 for that first game at the weekend?
Do you know what, John? I think coming into this series, I don't think that would even have crossed the management's mind. But I think the way Tom Banton not only played but seen his team through to a victory, that's the thing I liked about it. The boy got himself in a position to win England the game and then got them over the line. Now, I think that is very, very valuable. Bats will tell you from coaching point of view, if you've got a player who can see the job through, not sort of check out just before the end and possibly put his team under a little bit of pressure, I think that's quite valuable. He goes and puts another knock together here in a match-winning cause as Tom Banton. Then I think it is Jacob Bethel who's under a little bit of pressure, because when I look at Will Jacks, they've got him as a role. I prefer Jacks higher up the order. I would like him at the top of the order at number 3, but he bowled well the other night, and if he bowls well here, he's valuable. I just look at this side and think possibly we are looking at number 7 and number 8, and if Duckett gets runs in this contest, all of a sudden I'm looking at it and thinking, well, Bethel, Jacks, Curran, Overton, there's 4 players for 2 spots, and it'll be interesting which way they go, because I think England, in an ideal world, they want a left-hander at number 3, and I think coming into this tour, Ben Duckett was their man. Now, with the emergence of Banton, possibly Bethel could be under a little bit of pressure.
One of the exciting things about playing any team is coming up against players that you don't often get to see, and one of those is about to open the bowling. For Sri Lanka, we have enjoyed watching Patarana bowl in the last 2 matches, that's for sure, and Shamira is another one who's had his injury problems, has been in and out the side, but can bowl very, very fast and is expected to be a big part of this Sri Lanka side as well. And he's actually got the ball in hand now. First ball of this, the third and final T20, bowled by Shamira, and it's down the leg side, and he's going to have to do that again. It's Jos Buttler opening up. What is this? Cap number 403 for Jos Buttler, and alongside him Ben Duckett, who certainly, it feels like he's one of Brendan McCullum's main guys within this England setup. He's been given responsibility and opportunities by Brendan McCullum in all 3 formats of the game, and he's back in the side today. One of 2 changes for England, with Luke Wood stepping in for Jofra Archer and Ben Duckett at the non-strikers end in for Phil Salt, who picked up a back spasm. As this first delivery, legal delivery from Shamira, is defended away to the leg side, and I'm pleased to say we can cross to Palakeli Steve Harmison's still in position alongside Roshan Abasing.
Thank you, John. Yes, indeed. I must congratulate Harry Brook for the way he's won the tosses. He's won all three. And he's actually won the first round in every game. He's been calling the shots. And England have done 2 changes. Duckett is in. Unfortunate that Salt, who looks so good, is not available. And I like the change of Luke Wood coming in for Jofra Archer, giving him that rest he wanted. And also, just testing your bench strength, if that's the right word. Slip in. Short third. It's a man at backward point. And at square leg. Both of them on the boundary. Chamira takes his time. Just a second ball. Has this very nice, slightly curving run. Gets close to the stumps and bowls to Duckett and strikes him on the pad. They're asking. Well, it wasn't a very convincing appeal, though Chamira was going up. Thinking about a review, I'm not so sure. As I say a warm welcome to Steve Harmison.
Good evening, Roshan. Yeah, they're going to go for it. Are they going to go for it? He was making the signal. He stopped making the signal. He's made the single again. Janika's looking at the bowler, and there is a big conference here because the bowler is adamant. The wicketkeeper, Kusal Mendes, experienced player, not that convinced. Captain's asking them both. They'll go on a 50-50 call. Captain's gone, he's about to review it. Then he put his hands down by his side. Then he reviewed it again. And all of a sudden, he started shouting at his bowler because I'm not sure he's got that one right. I think it has pitched in line. And it has straightened. But is it high? Oh, you know what? If it is, we'll see the replay again. It looked as though it pitched in line. There's no bat involved. It's gone missed the front pad, but it's hit the back pad. If this pitch is in line, Ben Duckett could be in a bit of trouble. Yeah.
I think it's a good call. It's a very, very good call. Confirmation. Brilliant review. Absolutely brilliant review. And Sri Lanka have struck. And Duckett coming back out of the very first delivery he's faced. And, well, the umpire, Boteju, confirms that after all it's out. So England have got off to a rather bad start. 2 for 1. And Duckett, the batter, dismissed. LBW without scoring.
Ben Duckett's woes continue in this winter tour. Bust a finger in the last 50 over contest. Had to sit out the first 2 T20s. Declared himself fit, got himself ready, and unfortunately, Chamira has brought one back from about middle in leg, back of a length, around about a good length, and it's just straightened. And umpire has had to reverse his decision and give LBW. I didn't think it looked good first up. I thought it possibly could have pitched with the length it was. It hasn't pitched in line, possibly going over. So I can see what the umpire's thinking. But when you see it again, tram line's there. It was stone dead.
Right, so it's going to be Bethel. And a quick question, why are they wearing black armbands? Just out of curiosity.
Tony Pygott.
Oh.
Tony Pygott, Surrey, Sussex.
Here comes Chamira bowls and Bethel comes forward, pushes on the offside, gets a single. So Tony Pygott, that's the name. So he was the one who had to cancel his wedding when he wasn't he the one in New Zealand when he made his debut?
I think it was, yeah. Back home might be able to correct me on that, but yeah, I think that might be the one. I think he was in Australia. He was living in Australia. Nick Holt, the Telegraph journalist, did a piece with him which hadn't come out, but when he sadly passed away, I think it got published yesterday, I think, with the permission of his family. Sussex chief executive, played at Surrey. I think he played at Surrey and played at Sussex. Don't think he played anywhere else.
Here comes Chamira bowls and dropped and run is what Butler does. He gets a single, mid 130s for Chamira, but he certainly looks to be running in hard and hitting that bat hard. And yeah, indeed, that's a very sad story to hear about Tony Pygott. And
same primo sound quality, just way cheaper.
Find great deals on refurbished tech on eBay.
Never easy when you have that kind of news filtering through, and for the family and everyone else. I don't think he was all that senior.
67, I think he was. 67. I think he had been battling cancer and and he was in Australia. I think he sadly passed away in Australia.
Here comes Shamira from over the wicket. Bowls to Bethel on the back foot, who punches it down to deep cover, and just a single. So that's pace off that time. So I thought so, because Bethel had a little bit of time to play it off the back foot. And one more to the score.
I'm just seeing a presentation on our screen for Kusal Mendes, 100th T20I cap given to him by Sanath Jayasuriya, a cuddle from Sanath Jayasuriya, an embrace from the captain. Always a special award, the 50 or the 100 caps.
Yeah, that's an amazing achievement, isn't it? To play 100 games in any form for your country. As Shamira goes in, bowls, and worked away by Butler on the leg side, a single only, and the first over comes to an end with England on 6 for 1. Duck in the batter dismissed, Butler out for 3 and Bethel for 2. Quick reminder, you're listening to TalkSport 2 and also watching us on TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel.
Good start from Sri Lanka. Wicket with the third ball, or second legitimate ball, wide off the first ball, just sliding down leg side. Got a little bit of shape and swing back into the left hander, and that was it really. No other demons, no real big swing. Ball eased across Jacob Bethel, trying to bring it back. Sri Lanka with 3 changes. Tikshana, Chamira and Mendes in. England have brought Ben Duckett in at the top of the order, and Luke Wood, as I said, for Jofra Archer. It's a good chance for Luke Wood to show what he's got, because I think the balance of this side might need looking at the deeper England go into the World Cup when they start playing against better sides.
Right, Dasun Shanaka opening the bowling. This seemed to be the ploy of Sri Lanka as Shanaka comes in, bowls to Butler, he gets into line. So we've seen a few combinations at the top. We did see Tikshana, and we also saw Matisha Pathirana doing that, and then in the second game Shanaka and Pathirana, and now it's Chamira, who I think when he plays should be opening the bowling for Sri Lanka, and now with him Shanaka.
Yeah, I like the way it's gone here, because Pathrana, the quick, a little bit maverick, you're not sure what you're going to get with him.
And punching and good fielding, very very good fielding, hit really hard to the Janit Lienage at extra cover, punched off the back foot, good timing, but just couldn't get the placement.
I think I'd keep him, my fast bowler, keep him for if the power play goes the way I want and we bowl 2 or 3 good overs, possibly number 4 and number 6 over if England are a little bit behind, and then it's a little bit of risk or reward. England have to come hard, go at the pace, and that gives Sri Lanka a bit more of a chance to pick a wicket up.
Shanaka bowls, that's a good tight delivery. He's not express by any means, it's just maybe medium pace, 122, that last delivery. But what's impressive is got a bit of bounce and he bowled wicket to wicket.
The line, that's the thing that's been costing Sri Lanka in the power plays. Their lengths might be okay, but the lines have been well off, especially early on to Jos Buttler. Bowled far too wide. Jos Buttler naturally gives himself room, he naturally gives himself width, not a lot of foot movement, steers one side of the ball, wants to hit it on the offside, so you've got to be tight on off stump.
Here comes Shanaka bowls, and Butler looks to drive. He does drive, in fact, off the inside edge of the bat, down to long on for another easy single, but it's a good start for Sri Lanka. They've been very disciplined so far, particularly Shanaka, who is more or less a part-timer rather than a frontline bowler.
We've seen, I think it was down in Colombo, where I think Lienage came on and bowled the first 3 overs of a power play and did really, really well. But then he didn't bowl after that, which I was slightly surprised at. I think he bowled 3 overs for about 9. And all he did was do exactly what Shanaka's doing here, is bowl straight, back of a length, and saying to the batter, if you want to try and take a risk, the sort of the danger's in your half and not in my half when it comes to coming at the ball.
Here comes Shanaka, bowls, and hits him on the pad, that stayed down. Shanaka is asking the question, but I don't think umpire Kotachi is very, very impressed about it, and they just decide not to go ahead with that review because it was staying down but possibly outside the off stump.
Yeah, it's hit him. I don't think it's hit him on the pad. I think it's hit him above the pad on the sort of inside thigh. The length there, it was more of a ball into the pitch. So from that length point of view, I'm struggling to see if it would have pitched on line. And it's just hit him above the back pad. So no, I think from that line, I don't think there was much going for that one, other than a very, very good appeal by the captain.
Last ball of the over. Shanaka comes in and beats him outside the off stump. If he plays and misses, it's the end of the second over. 7 for 1. Bethel 2, Butler 4. Just to quickly remind you, you're listening to TalkSport 2 and also watching us on TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel.
Brilliant start from the captain. Excellent combination from the two opening bowlers for Sri Lanka. England under a little bit of pressure now. And I like this move. I probably would have gone at the other end. I think I would have gone with... I might have gone with Chamira for one more over. And if he bowled a good tight over, go for Pathurana, the fast bowler who's bowled, I think his fastest ball about 93, 94 miles per hour in this series so far. England have a chance to alleviate the pressure by using the Pierce, but also this guy bowls some wicket taking deliveries that we've seen so far in this series. So big moment for the power play. This,
yeah, deep backward point, slightly square now. Backward square leg, the two fielders outside the 30-yard circle. A short third, like a fly slip, but it's catching. Short fine leg. Pathurana comes in for the first ball and bowls. Oh, Yorker! Very good Yorker, dug out by Butler. That wasn't pace on, that was, well, by his standards, 134, he's not pace on. He's much quicker, but it's interesting to see the roles that the Sri Lankan bowlers will do, because now no Wanindu Hasaranga, now he's someone who bowls in the middle overs, someone who goes after wickets. So if it'll have to be done by Velalage, Mahesh Theekshana will have to do that role. He'll have to abandon, obviously, bowling at the top. So few interesting questions that I'm keen to find the answers for. And who'll bowl the death overs for Sri Lanka? The left-hander Bethel on strike. Feed hasn't changed at all, just left hand, right hand. As here comes Pathurana. Bowls a ball of full length outside the off stump. And Bethel just drags it down to deep cover. One thing about the Sri Lankan bowling so far, don't want to speak too early, is that they have been very, very disciplined.
Yeah, they've been disciplined. We've just seen a replay of the last appeal towards Jacob Bethel. Yeah, pitched a full ball outside leg stump, so it can't be out. But yeah, they've been disciplined. When they've sort of changed lengths up, the lengths have been good lengths, but they've also been very good lines. I think in guilt of Sri Lanka in the last two games in the power play, they've got one wrong.
Oh, gets an edge, and that's 4. He went for that Yorker. Well, no reward for some good bowling, but it doesn't matter in this format. You'll take your runs, and what Butler tried to do was looking to hit it away through mid-off, and inside edge between the keeper and short fine leg was the result, and a boundary.
Yeah, another full delivery. Josh Butler losing his shape a bit, trying to hit it a bit too hard, give himself some room. Bowler's seen him. It was gun barrel straight on middle stump until Josh Butler got an inside edge. A little bit of luck. England's boundary. 13 for 1.
Pathurana comes in, bowls the ball a full length again, takes it out, and he goes through for a single. Very good running by Bethel. That again was another fine Yorker, and Butler did very well to try and dig it out. They get a single. Just let's talk about a bowler when he gets into that zone now. We've seen so far some very good Yorkers from Pathurana. Is it the style he bowls, or is it the mindset, or is it just the zone that you get into when you start as a bowler?
I think it's a little bit of a feel good and feel where your body's at. You let go of the ball and you think, right, that if I'm bowling a good back of a length ball and I'm absolutely nailing it, and this is my best ball, this is where you go to, and then you work your confidence from there. At this moment in time, Pathurana's looking as though his Yorker is the best ball for him at the moment, and he's bowled 4 balls. 3 of them have been absolutely spot on, so good start.
He bowls a full toss, very nearly a full toss, and Bethel misses out, and I think that was pace off. Yeah, 125. and went on the second bounce to the keeper. But it doesn't matter. At this stage, Sri Lanka will want to have a good power play, and they look for dots, they look for wickets. They got one, but dots is so critical.
They are, and the lines and lengths have been absolutely spot on to all of the England batters. When Jacob Bethel has been in, Sri Lanka are purposely bowling wider to him. So 3 balls he's faced now have been, wide, full, 2 Yorkers, 1 half volley. That's the way they're trying to get him out.
Here is Pather in the balls again, and this time he's gone. He is gone. Well, the strategy has worked, because you were talking about going wide and full, and the speed gun says it was bowled slower. Doesn't matter, because Bethel went really hard and went off a thick outside edge. Kusal Mendes gobbling it behind the stumps. So Bethel goes for 3. England now 14 for 2 at the end of 3 overs.
That's exactly where Sri Lanka have been trying to bowl at Jacob Bethel, because they see a weakness there. They see that his front foot doesn't go all the way towards the ball. They see his front foot coming down the pitch, and when he comes, his front foot's coming down the pitch and the ball's a bit wider. He's got to reach, he's got to lose his shape, he loses his balance, and he nicks it. And that's three dismissals now, I think, or 4 dismissals now, that Jacob Bethel has been out in these 6 white ball games from wide deliveries, from balls that have been bowled close to the tram line, because they see that there's a weakness there, that Jacob Bethel reaching for the ball is going to nick it. It was a slower ball. Kusal Mendes had to dive forward, but the execution of the plan is perfect. Roshan, you asked me about bowlers and their mindset and how they get, they build confidence. Patarana's come in to bowl to Jos Buttler. He's gone Yorker, nailed his Yorker, and then he's nailed his wide delivery to Jacob Bethel. Unlucky for the boundary in the third ball, which went down sort of between short fine and the wicket keeper. But apart from that, that was 6 well executed deliveries for me, and a great start for Sri Lanka.
Absolutely, 14 for 2. And Tom Banton is the new batter. He'll be at the non-strikers end as Shanaka comes in for his second over and bowls to Butler, who steers it 4 in the gap. Well, if you get it in the gap, there's no point chasing it, because it's a beautiful outfield and it's very well maintained and manicured, so you get boundaries and get good value for shots like that.
Jos Buttler just waited for it. Not a bad delivery. Don't think the Sri Lanka captain will be too bothered about the line and the length. Possibly a little bit wide, but that's being overcritical. I think Jos Buttler at the moment, 2 wickets down, is just trying to get through the next phase of play, build a partnership with Tom Banton, and he played that very, very well, but it wasn't a bad delivery.
Here comes Shanaka bowls, and it's just worked away on the onside by Butler. He'll be happy to take a single, and brings Banton, who looked very impressive in that last game. I'm very excited to see him bat, and spoke to him at the post-match presentation, and he said batting out of place, he is an opener, but he would take any place in this side. That's what he said, and he was enjoying himself.
Yeah, and again, he's carried drinks for a long period of time. He's been in and out of the England setup. He's played well for Somerset. He's earned his right to come back in the team. Had a couple of bad injuries, been playing franchise tournaments around the world, and now he's got his chance. He is an opener, possibly a number 3, but England, I think, want number 3 to be a left-hander.
Shanaka bowls, and he's off the mark. Coming in at short mid-wicket. Looks like coming to Mendes, who's unable to get rid of the ball. And another thing that was very striking was that he sounded very friendly as a person.
Very quiet, but I don't know the lad. I've met him on a couple of occasions, but he strikes me as a quiet lad, and I think he's given England a new dimension against spin, because of the way he can play all the way around the ground, especially them elevated reverse sweep shots.
Here comes Shanaka bowls and pushed down to long on for an easy single, and the score goes up to 21 for 2. It's time to cross over to John Norman in the studios.
Thank you, Roshan. So a good start for Sri Lanka. England at 20 for 2, midway point of the 4th over, with Jos Buttler 16 not out, and Tom Banton, fresh from his player of the match performance in the second T20, with 1 to his name. Some good pace bowling so far. Bats Gareth Batty alongside me in the commentary box. with Patarani and Chamira opening up. Shanaka as well, who's mixing it up. And Sri Lanka will be more than keen to get a performance on the board ahead of the T20 World Cup, which they are co-hosting. Independence Day in Sri Lanka again tomorrow. This delivery to Banton. It hits firmly to the fielder inside the circle at cover point. Joss Buttler slightly fortunate to be there as well, inside edging back past his stumps.
Yeah, the Sri Lankan bowlers have certainly kept the stumps in play. They've been disciplined with their lines, not giving any freedom of getting the England batters getting their arms free. The boundaries really have been sort of a thick outside edge and an inside chop through the leg side.
Last ball of Chanaka's over, and this is drilled by Banton. Slow delivery from Shanaka. Banton was waiting for this and has just eased into a ball that's a touch over pitched and driven through extra cover and to the boundary for 4. So Banton moves to 5. Butler's 16 not out. 4 overs into England's innings, 25 for 2.
Yeah, that would be where Goffey and Harmy would be tearing their hair out. He's had a reasonable over there where he's just held a good length top of the stumps. And last ball of the over, the ball that you want to just bowl to have no extra danger and no extra runs into the runs column. And he's gone for a slower ball and he's bowled it in slot. He's gone full in and around just outside off stump, and Banton's far too good a player just to miss out on a slower ball half volley that he played quite imperiously through extra cover.
Yeah, player in form. If you're just joining us on the broadcast on TalkSport 2 and the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel, England winning the toss for the 3rd T20 in a row and deciding to bat first. We're in the power play and it's dry, and Butler's on the reverse and he's been hit on the pad by Wellalage, who has shown glimpses of real talent in the field with the bat and whilst bowling throughout the ODI and T20 series. But the umpire not interested. This time pushed up to and through extra cover by Joss Buttler, who moves to 18. Haven't seen the best of Butler so far in 50 over or 20 over series. Not that he's underperformed necessarily, but centre stage has been taken by some other batters.
Maybe not being quite as fluent as we've sort of seen him. It looks like he's forcing the game a little bit.
Something wasn't quite right, so the left arm is going to try again on the pads and clipped past square leg. There's a chase on. It's timed nicely, but not hit hard enough to reach the boundary. Mid-wicket runs round to field, so another couple of runs to the score. Banton moves to 7, Butler 17. And this has been a very, very tight start. How many boundaries have we had? Just a couple, I think. Just have a quick look. 2 fours to Butler, 1 past the wicket, inside edge, and 1 to Banton. Banton's hit on the pads, but this is doing just a touch too much and hitting him. Would have gone down the leg side, so Wellalage moves back to the top of his mark. Dasun Shanaka won't be reviewing that. Dot ball, 28 for 2, and for the second time in the over, Wellalage aborts the delivery.
Yeah, I think this is tactic from the left arm spinner. I think he's watching to see the batter's movements and he's wondering whether they're going to reverse.
And Banton does like to reverse. This is hit straight to square leg, no run. Banton wasn't moving though, was he? It's not as though he'd started shimmying or adopting a different stance. He was standing there waiting for the ball. Last ball of the over. Wellalage's in, steps away, does Banton, exposes the stumps. The ball moves away from the right-hander and takes the stumps. So Banton's innings comes to an end. Wellalage strikes at the end of his first over, and England find themselves 28 for 3, 5 overs into the innings.
Yeah, before that wicket, I was almost going to say what a great constructed over from Willie Lago. He'd sort of gone into the pads, he'd gone wide, he dragged him around the crease a little bit. But this is a wonderful piece of bowling. He's brave enough just to get that overspinner to get it up just above the eye line. Banton thinks, oh, I can clear mid on, I can get that leg out of the way. As it turns out, he gets the leg too far out of the way, and as the ball drops with that little bit of extra flight, it grips in the surface and goes from just about leg stump and hits the top of middle. It's a wonderful piece of bowling. It's a brave piece of bowling, but disappointing end for Banton. The shot was possibly on, but maybe wasn't quite up to speed with Willie Lago's changes and subtle variations, and finds himself returning for 7.
That brings Harry Brook to the crease. 1 over remaining in the power play. England, of course, have won this series, but they're going to be looking for lessons. They, of course, would love to take the series 3-0. That should go without saying, but equally, it's good to know, who can stand up when the pressure is on, and if you're going to be in that position, you'd rather be doing it today than against the likes of West Indies or whoever England are going to come up against in the T20 World Cup, where there'll be a touch more jeopardy attached to the result. Brook at the non-striker's end. That dismissal of Banton coming from the final ball of Willalage's first over, and that means that Jos Buttler will take strike for the first ball of the final over of the power play, and it's Paterana in, and this is slower delivery down the leg side, fielded by Kusal Mendes behind the stumps, who has to dive low to his left to gather, and Paterana will have to do it all over again.
Yeah, I think that may have been a slower ball from Paterana. He's got that slingy low action. He's not quite as low as Malinga was back in the day, but he's got that lower, slingier, jerky action, and sometimes they release the ball like baseball players from that sort of thumb and middle finger, and they'd lose a little bit of control. You get your control from your fingers being behind the ball.
Here is Paterana again. Oh, leading edge pops up, and somehow Jos Buttler, trying to play to square leg, sees the ball pop up to point where there isn't a fielder and comes through for a single.
Yeah, it might be these lower, slingier actions, the low arm. Sometimes it's tough to pick out where the ball's coming from. I remember players talking about facing Malinga. You're almost looking at the umpire's chest. That's where the ball's coming from. It's not coming from above the sort of bowler's action, as it were. They're dropping round the side, and he's definitely changing that release position. Some are coming out with a bit more finger behind, and some are kind of coming out the side of the hand, so there's less force behind the ball, and it's just a subtle change of pace.
He had a shoulder injury last year, and actually his release point was even lower than what we're seeing today. He's trying to get it down to the position it was before that injury. Oh, it's on the pads and clipped fine by Harry Brook, who'll take 4 through vacant long leg. There is a short fine leg. This goes 3 or 4 metres to the left of the fielder, and as soon as the ball passes the inner circle, it was only ever going to go in one direction. That was to the boundary, but Paterana not quite getting his line right. And as you say, that will happen when you have that slingier round arm action. Of course, Lasith Malinga, one of the members of the coaching staff within the Sri Lankan setup. 34 for 3 then England. Paterana in again. This is very short, and Harry Brook just tries to dab this, guide this over vacant slip. He misses, and looked a touch high to me, but not signalled wide.
Yeah, that's the other thing about the lower arm. Doesn't quite go into the surface the same, so it skids and it goes through the batters. I mean, that was up at 88 miles an hour. The change of pace from that early 70s, the first 3 balls in the over, to 88, that's not an easy thing to be judging, particularly as a new batter for Brook.
Here's Paterana. Oh, popped up and caught at short cover. Harry Brook has been completely deceived by a cutter, I think, from Paterana on the shot too early, and the ball has lobbed up to the fielder, close to the batter. He's not going to get an easier catch all summer, and Brook's got to go for 4. England lose their 4th, 34 for 4 inside the power play, Bats.
Yeah, I mean, it just highlights this change of pace that we're seeing from Paterana. This one's kind of like an under sort of cutter, where the ball's going down like a square spin from the spinners, and it's just held into the surface. The change of pace, 20 miles an hour. It's a huge difference in pace. And Brook fresh to the crease. He's only 3 balls in. It was his 3rd ball, and he's sort of, because the previous delivery is 88 miles an hour, his beans are going, his adrenaline's up, and he's just caught playing that ball outside his front knee, and it's hit the splice of the bat and gone straight to extra cover. I mean, we've got to give the bowler huge credit. The changes of pace and the accuracy from the start of the over not quite being where he wanted to, then go quick and get it through that sort of off-stump line. Brook having a bit of a fence at it, and then to change the ball by 20 miles an hour. Brook looking to come forward, just gets his hands and pushes in front of his body, which then hits the splice, and it went quite quickly in a bizarre way to extra cover. It really is wonderful skill.
Yeah, brilliant stuff from Paterana, who's picked up his 2nd wicket. 10 deliveries, gone for 13, and Harry Brook has to go for just 4. That brings a familiar face to the crease. Sam Curran, skipper of your white ball side, Bats. We talked to him about the moon ball, by the way. Your comments about how in training, when he was trying to practice with that moon ball, you said if that goes to anything other than 6, I'll be very surprised. And then of course he takes a wicket first time he tries to use it for Surrey, driven square of the wicket, and it'll be fielded on the boundary. So Curran off the mark first ball. 35 for 4, 1 ball left of the power play.
Yeah, it's not the perfect game situation for Sam Curran to come in, but it's a good opportunity for him to get some time in the middle. Franchise cricket before being in Sri Lanka, he would have spent lots of time, and it's like anything, batting, it's getting used to being out there, getting used to the fielders and being out in the middle. Nets are one thing, but being out there, time in the middle is a massive thing. So it's a big day for him to have some time in the middle.
For now though, Jos Buttler 18 from 16. Oh, beaten by an absolutely ridiculous delivery from Paterana, coming in around 82 miles an hour, and it's almost like an 80 mile an hour off spinner there, isn't it? And it's jagged back. Butler's actually trying to just defend on the line of off stump. He's beaten past the by the inside edge. That could have taken the inside edge. It wouldn't have reached the keeper, but could well have inside edged it onto the stumps. He's fortunate to still be there.
Yeah, and it's with that trajectory being so low, actually naturally there's no bounce, and there's not a huge amount of bounce in this surface by the looks of it. It does make it very difficult to get up to speed with the ball when he's changing his paces. I mean, that to me looked more in the 70 miles an hour as opposed to the 82, 83, so just shows how difficult it is for the batters.
Yeah, I was slightly surprised that the speed gun registered that at 82. It looked much slower than that, didn't it?
Did it bounce twice before it got to the keeper, as it sort of went in between bat and pad of Jos Buttler?
Either way, Sri Lanka have been terrific in the power play. They would have batted second, irrespective of losing the toss, as Sam Curran again eases this through to the boundary. He'll come back for a second. Fielder at deep point running round to prevent 4 runs. Just given just a fraction of width in both deliveries now. Wellalage, the bowler, he has picked up 1 wicket in his first over, that of Tom Banton. And now it's Curran. Just dabs this down into the offside and calls Buttler through for a single. Score moves on, 38 for 4.
Yeah, I know the stat back in the day was if he lost 3 wickets in the power play, it was something like 78% chance of losing. But I think those numbers are skewed now. I think the game has changed. People bat a lot deeper. So I would say it's not quite as damning as that for England.
They bat deeper than Sri Lanka as well, and they've got Buttler and Curran at the crease, so 2 very experienced and players who've been there and done it many times. They've got the winners' medals This is just pushed to mid-wicket from Butler. Both batters, I imagine, will just try and rein things in for a few overs. They can catch up a little bit later in the piece. And it's just a little hush at Palakelli. Wellalage's in. This is wide, and Curran again can push this through the expanse at deep point and comes through for another single. He moves to 5, Butler 19, England 40 for 4. You were saying earlier that with your Surrey head coach cap on, looking at Tom Banton playing at 4 for England, you thought maybe Sam Curran and Will Jacks could have been played higher up the batting order, but I suppose now this is an opportunity for Curran, and of course Jacks still to come in to get a little bit more time out in the middle with bat in hand, because we've not seen much of Will Jacks at all, and a little of Curran as well. Butler it is, and he goes aerial, lofts this up and over extra cover and away for 6. It's graceful as you like, all timing, wrists and placement, and at no point did he seek to overhit that delivery. Almost just picked his spot and hit it there. 46 for 4, end of the 7th.
Yeah, it's the class of Joss Butler. It's also the experience of playing lots of games in the subcontinent. The left arm spinner getting real full on that. The want, and also what happens with a lot of lesser experienced players, they snatch at the shot. They try and overhit the ball. He didn't. He just got in a lovely position and just popped it into out for 6 over extra cover, as if it's just what everybody does on every time they get out there, and the left arm spinner just gets a bit full. It's a wonderful bit of batting prowess from Butler. And the one thing about Curran and Butler now, you'll see more of that from Butler if they go full. He'll look to hit the sight screen straight back over the bowler's head. And Sam, particularly the left arm spinner, he'll be looking at mid-on round to mid-wicket if they get full. Aside from that, they'll knock it around and they'll play the game. They'll play relative risk-free.
Tikshana missed a second T20. He was expensive in the first, and his first delivery is pushed to extra cover. Welcome to listeners to Talk Sport. You're listening to live and exclusive cricket commentary from Sri Lanka, where the hosts are enjoying the start to this third T20. England 46 for 4, winning the toss for the third match in a row and being rocked early doors. This is pushed to backward point, no run. Ben Duckett, Jacob Bethel, Tom Banton and Harry Brook have all been and gone. And Sri Lanka have bowled beautifully. They've mixed up the pace and the spin. And Tikshana just plenty of loop and a bit of drift. Draws Sam Curran forward and pushing up to long off for a single. Harry Brook deciding to bat first today, maybe with the T20 World Cup in mind, just wanting to ask a few new questions of his team, and with the series already won, why not? 2 changes as well, with Ben Duckett coming back into the side after Phil Salt picked up a back spasm in the warm-up. Didn't last too long though. He was dismissed without scoring. That was the first of the 4 wickets to fall in the power play, and there's the 5th. Joss Butler coming forward, trying to play defensively, and Tikshana's exploited the gap between bat and pad, and the ballers hit the top of off stump, and Butler's got to go for 25, and that's a huge blow for England's chances at Palakelli. They're 47 for 5 now.
Yeah, Tikshana only 4 balls into his spell, and he's got expansive spin. I mean, that's a good sort of half a foot outside off stump, and it's spun through the gate, through the defences of Joss Butler to hit the top of middle stump. It's kind of your dream delivery from an off spinner. Butler's disappointed with himself. It feels like he could have done more to at least make the umpire make a decision on an LBW, as opposed to giving the inside edge and the gap between bat and pad. But he was starting to show nice signs, Joss Butler there. 25 off 21 before that ball, and it was extravagant spin. But he'll be disappointed that he didn't have something behind it. But again, it's another opportunity, what you were saying a moment ago about some of the England players that haven't had much time in the middle recently, to get out there and spend some time. Will Jacks comes out to the middle.
Yep, 2 Surrey players at the crease now, with the Surrey head coach on commentary duty. here on TalkSport 2 and the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel. And England needing a couple of players to stick around now for 6 or 7 overs before going again. Plenty of batting still to come, but Sri Lanka wouldn't have dared dream they would have England 5 down inside 8 overs. And it's been good bowling. England haven't thrown their wickets away, but they are now in a little bit of trouble. We get the thoughts of Steve Harmison as the game progresses. Roshan Abasinghe took Shan at first ball, and Will Jacks just playing deep in his crease and threads this ball through backward point and gets off the mark first ball. Just seeing a replay of that. I called it as top of off. It was actually top of middle. Big turn there for Tikshana, and he's not.
Darling, my mobile bill's gone up again.
Well, you are on a big mobile network.
But why'd you say it like that?
Because with Labara, I've saved a small fortune. Everyone in the village has switched.
Well, I could switch. I just haven't yet.
Labara, the smarter mobile network.
10!
No, from £5 a month.
Backward of point for a single. Score moves along, 49 for 5.
Yeah, he's very similar to Mendes in the way that majority of balls are going to come from the front of the hand. So it's a bit more sort of carom ball where you flick off your middle finger, which takes the ball towards slip, and then just a little bit on your index finger where you're just going to pull down, and it's going to take the ball into off stump, into the pads of the batter. And then within that, we've seen with the wicket of Josh Buttler, there's your traditional off spinner, more like Nathan Lyon, where you're sort of in and it's that big drop and there's the big spin that comes in. But it's more for these sorts of services where the pitch is offering a little bit of lateral movement for the spinners. You're just a little bit either way, but being from the front of the hand, generally it means your command of length and line means that you're just that bit more accurate than the traditional finger spinners.
Okay, it's Wellalage to continue. Sam Curran defends back to the bowler, and Steve Harmison and Roshan Abasinghe ready to pick up.
Welcome back, John, and even as we pick up, it's a boundary here. Sam Curran very quickly onto the back foot to ball touch short and punching it away on the onside to bring up the England 50.
Yeah, good shot from Sam Curran. Didn't try and hit it too hard. I think on this surface, them sort of cross-bat shots got to be so watchful because the ball's not bouncing as much as it did the other night. It's the same pitch as the other night. Not sure it's as good. I think the ball's keeping a little bit lower, so instead of going horizontal, it might be more angle.
That time just outside the off stump. Yeah, and also what we've seen is there's been some response from the surface to the spinners. We've seen Wellalage getting one to turn and bounce, Tikshana getting one through the gate. So at the moment 54 for 5. The right hander on strike.
I think you were talking about the shot sort of execution. That shot that Sam Curran played, it wasn't a full-blown cross-bat pull shot into the leg side. It was more of an angle, 45-degree angle, not quite a straight. You would hit it back down the ground, but he's still trying to hit the middle of the bat, trying to hit and go with a straight bat rather than a horizontal bat because of the way the ball's probably not bouncing as much as they think.
Wellalage tossing it up and driven along the ground by Jacks for a single. So they've got 6 runs in the over so far of the first 4 deliveries. Into the 9th over, they haven't really been able to get that run rate up. It's a little over 6 runs an over, so that would be a victory of sorts for Sri Lanka. But interesting to see how the surface will respond as the game progresses. Here comes Wellalage, bowls quicker. Curran on the back foot, pushes on the onside. It's a dot, no run.
Yeah, it's amazing how just a good start, and it was a good start. The execution of the first over was good. Backed up the second over. Fielders inside the circle, angles right.
Wellalage throws it up, and Curran gets it in the gap at extra cover. They want 2, but they'll be happy with 1 because it went almost to the fielder in Pawan Ratnaik. It's 9 overs done. It's 56 for 5. Just a quick reminder, you're listening to TalkSport 2 and also watching us on the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel.
And the buzz around the field there, another good example. We're talking about the captain getting the field positions in the right, fielders in the right place, angles right, boundary riders 2 or 3 meters off it, making sure they're not giving a second run away. It really has been a more polished looking Sri Lanka in these 8 overs that we've had so far. Confident because the wickets that they've been picking up along the way, England haven't been able to build a partnership and get themselves away. The partnerships have been built by the bowlers, and they've been backed up well in the field as well.
Tikshana comes in. He's got a wicket in his first over. Goes to Curran, goes slower, strikes him on the pad. Tikshana is very, very confident. He is in fact pleading with the umpire. He's just having a chat. He's thinking, he's looking to push the captain to try and go upstairs.
I don't think you needed to push the captain to go upstairs. There was three DRS signals to the captain. The bowler was adamant. He signalled to him. The captain signalled to him straight away without even looking at the umpire. And Mendes wasn't even looking at Shanaka, the captain. He was just signalling to the umpire. So this looks extremely close. Has it gone down leg side? Does the umpire think Sam Curran's got a piece of the bat on it? What I do know is, when seeing from the first replay, is there's a big puff of dust because Sam Curran looks as though he's hit the ground with the bat as the ball's going past it. So whether there is a little inside edge, what you might find here, Roshan, is a spike the same time as the ball's going past the bat, with the bat hitting the ground. So that will be difficult for the TV umpire to ascertain which one's which. And if it does turn back, I think it's possibly pitching just in line. It's whether it's going on with the angle or it's coming back towards the stumps. I think this might be a little closer than we think.
I think the key here is as to whether there was an inside edge. I think that will kind of settle the issue. Because if there is obviously an inside edge, we wouldn't go beyond that. But if there is no inside edge, then Sam Curran could be in some sort of trouble. And then you'll be looking at all those directions. But one thing is, right, here we get it. Is there an oh yes, oh no, I'm not so sure. Is it the ball hitting the bat or is it the bat hitting the ground? Now that is a tough call for the third umpire.
I think it's the bat hitting the ground, me, here. I really think it's the bat hitting the ground. But the problem the third umpire, the TV umpire's got, he's got to work out, can he be categorically sure that that has actually happened? Because it's gone at the same time and the on-field decision was not out. So he's got to prove that this is a mistake from the umpire. So I'm not sure this is going to be overturned, and it's not.
I think that's a good decision. That's a very good decision by the third umpire, because there was doubt straight away. And simultaneously, as the bat hit the ground, it was also very close to the ball, so it was difficult to distinguish as to which one really was making those spikes.
Sam Curran and the stump mics just said it was good timing, me hitting the floor as the ball was going past the bat. So he probably doesn't know if the ball hit the bat or not.
Here comes Beecham ball, so that's quicker. And Curran prefers to play it defensively. No run. And I think, well, just forget about winning or losing. I think England wouldn't mind situations like this going into a World Cup, and just see how the second half of their batting, the lower order, how they cope with it. Here comes Tikshana from round the wicket. Goes to Curran and beats him outside the off stump, as he plays at it. Bit of turn that time.
Great bowling. Really is good bowling. Line and length was spot on. The energy through the crease as well from the spin bowler. He's up for this challenge tonight. He's giving it a rip. See the revolutions on the ball. The ball's disturbing the surface. This is not as good a surface as what we had the other night. It's taking spin. It's taking chunks out of the pitch.
Tikshana is worked away on the leg side. They want two, and they won't take two, because that is good work by Pawan Ratnayaka, who sprinted in from deep mid-wicket. But credit to Curran, because he played it with soft hands into that gap at mid-wicket.
Yeah, I agree with what you said before about England wanting to find out how their lower order will look. I think they were hoping to see how their lower order would look, possibly 5 down from 12 or 13 overs out, but it'll not do them any harm. They've already won the series.
Kind of balls that's on the leg stump, ill-directed, and just a single. Yeah, they won the series, so they could sort of, you know, tamper a little bit with the side. They could experiment. They could look at options. And particularly when you go into when you're about to, we are almost at the door of a World Cup, Cricket World Cup, you'll want to just make sure that your players are up to it. Interesting conversation between Kusal Mendis and Deekshana as he comes in and bowls, and driven by Karan down the ground. Only a single, I think. Yes, only a single. Lianage picks up and sends a good return. 3 runs off that over. At the halfway stage, England not looking good at the moment. 59 for 5 with Jackson 3 and Karan on 15. You're on Talk Sports 2 and also watching the Talk Sports Cricket YouTube channel.
I don't think like I said before, I don't think the surface is as good as what the other night. So that total of possibly 150, 160 would have been in the 160, just around 160 plus, I would say. At the start of the game, England would probably be looking for. I think if they can get to, I think anything above 140 here is good for England, because obviously at 60 for 5. But England have got, you know, 2 batters that are well capable. Jamie Overton come in as well, who again is well capable. Dawson can hold a bat, Rashid can hold a bat, so they have got bat and depth. I'm pleased to see Will Jacks get a hit, because I think he's better than 7. I really do in this lineup. I know I've spoke about how you fit Banton in if he's batting, the way he's batted, and then you want a left-hander at number 3, and if it's either Bethel or it's Ben Duckett. And I know Ben Duckett didn't get any runs tonight, but I think in T20 format, I think picking Jacob Bethel, it's all about potential, it's all about ceiling level, it's all about, you know, his all-round game is, yes, it's good, but I actually think in this format of the game and the experience that the 2 players have had, I actually think Will Jacks, you will get more out of Will Jacks at number 3 than you would off Jacob Bethel. But England want a left-hander at number 3. So, I mean, Gareth Batty, the Surrey's coach, is obviously on comms as well. It'll be interesting to see what Bats thinks of England's batting order and where he sees Will Jacks, because he's seen Will Jacks develop and play and come through, and he's gone to the IPL. He's done well in the IPL, top of the order. I thought he should open the batting in the 50 over format when we were here, when we were there, we were in Colombo. So now he gets his chance. So hopefully Will Jacks can show England that he's not just that number 7 slogger, finisher, whatever you sort of pigeonhole him at. Now he's got a bit of time to build an innings and go explosive towards the end of the T20 contest. Hopefully he can pull England out of a bit of trouble, because at this moment in time England are in real trouble.
Yeah, certainly in trouble, no doubt about it. At the halfway stage, 59 for 5. But you spoke about Bethel and Jacks at 3. Yes, I agree, because Jacks brings in his bowling as well into the contest. But with Bethel at 3, he also gives you that extra bowling option as a left-arm spinner.
Yeah, he does. I've said England looks as though they want a left-hander at number 3. Salt will come back to the top of the order when he's over his back spasm, so it'll be between Bethel and Duckett. They like that left-hander, which I think is a good option. Left-hander at number 6, Sam Curran, that's a good option. I just think Will Jacks is a better player than number 7, and I know they're possibly trying to sort of pigeonhole him into that finisher, that Kieran Pollard style finisher towards the end of a game, but I think Will Jacks has proven in franchise cricket and short from even in the 100, that batting at the top of the order, he's dangerous. So he's got a chance. He's got 10 overs to bat.
Here comes Chamira now to bowl to Karan. He starts off with a slower delivery that's pushed away on the offside to cover. No run.
Good again from Chamira, straight on the money. First up, tight to off stump. Well, Alligator at backward point is 5 yards inside the 30-metre circle. He's tight on one, trying to keep the pressure on. Extra cover is also in tight on one. Fielder's out on the boundary on the leg side. Great start to the over.
Chamira again has this very aggressive approach and bowls a ball that is slightly quicker this time, and good fielding, really good fielding at cover. Velalage that is who stops it. Chamira in the mid 130s, but he's definitely hitting the bat hard. Just a quick question, I do remember you talking about a power hitter, and I do remember, I just can't recall the name, but someone who used to bat at 6 or 7 and bowl leg spin for England, quickish leg spin. Sort of front line.
Who that would be?
I'm just thinking. I know I've got the name at the tip of my tongue, but I'm just trying to recall his name. I think he's gone around playing leagues.
Liam Livingstone.
Yes, that's the name. That's the name.
Liam Livingstone.
Livingston. That's the name. Here comes Chamira. Slow delivery in there. It's got to be out. Yes, that's Jax. Well. The slower delivery has dismissed quite a few English batters, and this is yet another one. And England are 60 for 6.
Oh, what are you saying, Stephen Armisen? Shut up, will you? Giving them the big build-up. And that's brilliant bowling. I mean, that is brilliant bowling. He's bowled 2 balls tied to off stump, and Will Jacks has just got in a position a bit too early. It's bounced on him. The ball's just sat up and bounced on him. A bit like Harry Brook. Threw the shot too early. Fantastic execution of a slower ball, getting the length right, getting the line right, getting the speed right. And unfortunately, Will Jacks, hands out in front of himself. I still think he's a good player. Hands out in front of himself, could only chip it to mid-wicket. And England are 60 for 6 in real trouble.
Yeah, they're definitely in a lot of trouble, but very quickly. To talk about Liam Livingstone, I mean, I thought he was a very fine player. He hit a long ball, quick scorer of runs, more than handy when he comes on to bowl. Seen him bowl some good overs of leg spin. But is he out of the system or what?
Yeah, I think he's out of the system. He lost his central contract last year. I think Liam Livingstone's a fine player, I really do. I think when he's good, he's really good. But unfortunately, England thought he's had a lot of chances. I think Liam Livingstone was told, he told us on TalkSport that the directive from the management of the England setup was he's had a lot of chances and they're going to try and look elsewhere. So Liam's back playing in the franchise leagues around the world, doing quite well. Took an unbelievable catch in a game a couple of weeks ago that he played in. He's a gun fielder. He can bat, he can hit a long ball, but England feel as though they needed to move on.
It's Dawson on strike. He's a new batter, and Chamira rushes him with the delivery just back of a length. He gets off the mark, playing it behind square leg.
I like this move from England. I mean, Jamie Overton is down at number 8, and we've seen what Jamie Overton can do. Sample size at Colombo in that first 50-over game. But Liam Dawson in first-class cricket for Hampshire is a proper batter. He bats at number 6, and he's a proper batter. And I think in this situation, what it needs is just a little bit of time taken out of the game. England can push themselves into the sort of 14th and 15th over, and then Overton comes in then. So I think this is a good move from the England dressing room to send Liam Dawson in ahead of Jamie Overton.
Here comes Chamira and throws a short delivery and pulls it well. That's Sam Curran for you, in front of square through mid-wicket. Had time to play that shot. That was almost 140 and perfectly executed for a boundary.
Yeah, good shot, but a very good, well-directed bouncer. I mean, possibly could have got it a little bit higher and got Sam Curran into a little bit of trouble, but from where Chamira got the ball, that's pretty much where he would want it to be. It was a roundabout grill high, nose high. Sam Curran standing up, and he swiveled it, pulled it in front of square. Shows you the pace that's in this pitch. But it was a well executed short ball from Chamira and a very, very fine shot from Sam Curran. Good cricket.
Chamira comes in. Curran gets a slower one, and he rides the bounce well, pushes on the offside. Velalage in from cover has a shy at the non-striker's end because Dawson was almost running for a single which wasn't there. So end of the over, 11 done. England still not going at 6 runs and over, 65 for 6. And a quick reminder, you're listening to TalkSport 2 and also watching us on the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel.
I think Liam Dawson thought he was in trouble there. He managed to get turned quick enough and got himself, the short steps in to get back. I think if that hits, I think he's just in. It's close, he's just in, but good from Sam Curran. Good boundary in that over. 7 and over gets 128. I'm not sure that's enough. 9 and over, 146. I think England, just below par. If they can get to 130, 135, they might have something to bowl at. I think they'll be looking for something in excess of 135 to have a chance in this contest. A big partnership here to give the likes of Overton to come next a chance to be explosive in the last 3 or 4 overs.
See, the other thing is that England have good quality spin. So on a surface that's offering something to the spinners, you'll see the likes of Rashid and Dawson looking to try and exploit it. As here comes Deekshana, bowls, and Dawson looks to sweep, and he does. Down to backward square leg, just a single. But Patirana was a little bit slow to get off the mark, but they were happy with the single.
Yeah, but I think when you also look at it, Roshan, and think, if you look at the first game, 133 was nowhere near enough, and England just come out and have a good power play, and the game's over. It's a comfortable chase, and I think that's what Sri Lanka will be thinking. The 6 over power play has been quite productive from Sri Lanka's point of view in the game so far. Sri Lanka's problem has been against the spin, so if they can get England out for a below par score and have a good power play, they're well ahead of the game.
Dixon bowls, and on the leg stump this time. Curran works it into the wide open areas on the leg side. Just an easy single. So England will look to try and maybe bat the next 4 to 5 overs carefully without taking too many risks. Maybe they'll look for a runner ball or a little over a runner ball.
Yeah, a little over a runner ball, or even a runner ball. They can get 20 or 30 runs in the next sort of 3 or 4 overs, and then it gives them a grandstand finish.
Here is this delivery. Oh, that's gone fine, and that will run away for 4. That's a poor delivery. There was a leg slip, and Deekshana dragged it, and Dawson was looking to hit it away on the leg side, and the ball went off an under edge and split the gap.
Probably the first time that Sri Lanka haven't quite got it right when it comes to the plan that they were trying to put in place and the execution of that plan. I think they put the leg slip in to stop Liam Dawson ramping and trying to get Deekshana to come forward, but unfortunately he's just dragged one down, and it was a poor delivery.
Deekshana comes in, bowls to Dawson, who is getting a single down to deep mid-on. So 73 for 6 into the 12th over. It's time now to join John Norman.
Thank you, Roshan. At 71 for 6, as you say. Liam Dawson and Sam Curran trying to rebuild. What kind of... Gareth Batty alongside me, head coach of Surrey, former England spinner. It's pretty desperate for England at the moment, but this is not a good pitch. It doesn't appear to be. Some of those dismissals suggest it's fiendish out there. So, you got any idea of a score that would be defendable on that? 130, maybe 140. Still some way off that. Deekshana's in again. This is turning, not massively, away from the left-hander Sam Curran, who tries to guide the ball down to third but can't beat the field. There's 2 fielders there behind square on the offside. No run.
Well, we got 49 balls left. I think the way of looking at it now, particularly when you're chasing, is it's not the number of balls, it's how many can go out of the ground. So if you're 6 hitters, so Jamie Overton coming in next will deal in boundaries. Sam Curran has shown, well, arguably in the world cricket, franchise cricket, is arguably the best sort of number 4-5 from a numbers point of view in the last year. So they've got the know-how. It's just breaking it down into 49 balls left. Right, how are we going to do it? It's going to be tough to rotate with singles. So it's how many boundaries do we think we can get on a tough surface?
Last ball of the over, and again Curran can't rotate the strike. He's a touch frustrated, and that's at the end of over number 12. 73 for 6. England are batting first after Harry Brook won the toss for the third game in a row.
I suppose the one thing to throw into the mix, chasing is a whole lot easier in some ways than setting on a surface that is bowler friendly. You can have, you can throw caution to the wind in that power play to really go hard when the lacquer is on the ball and it flies off in different areas, which England were okay from a scoring rate, but they were still sort of, right, we're going to set a total. It's different when you can throw caution to the wind knowing exactly what it is, and you're basically saying, well, we'll give you 2 or 3 because we want to be at this point in this period of the game, knowing that Adil Rashid and Dawson are going to make it very difficult in the middle with some jacks and fast bowlers change-ups. So I tell you what, 110 and you're right in the mix. It will be a very good game of cricket. 120, I think England will probably win.
Kaminda Mendes is going to bowl, and first delivery is crashed through the covers, square of the wicket by Liam Dawson. He'll take a single, 73 for 6. There is another big game involving England taking place at the moment, the Under-19 World Cup. It's a semi-final. England taking on Australia, and England in a good position. And one of your boys, Ralphie Albert, has just picked up his second wicket. England made 277 for 7 with the captain, Thomas Roux, top scoring. Full toss, and Curran has latched onto that. It's a good diving effort. That has saved 2 runs. We'll have to wait and see who's at extra cover, but he's had to get down so quickly to his left, got a good hand to the ball and prevented it from flying towards the boundary. Loose delivery from Kamindu. And Curran just a touch frustrated because that was good connection. He hit it powerfully, but brilliant stop at extra cover. Curran 23 from 26, and just pushes this square of the wicket on the offside and comes through for a single, 76 for 6.
Yeah, Kamindu committing the cardinal sin. You've got a pitch that's helpful, and the ball didn't pitch. A low full toss, as you said, from Sam Curran, and he climbed into it. Extra cover's hands will be ringing, that is for sure.
Here is Mendes. He's bowling left arm round the wicket to Liam Dawson, who just fails to latch on to another ball that kept. There's a bit of a drag down. He's thrown everything at this, and he's on the shot too early. It's a toe edge, and the ball goes back to the bowler. 76 for 6. Windows in again, lots of flight there, touch over pitched, and it's driven again out to the sweeper on the cover boundary. And Liam Dawson, for the second shot in a row, just looks at his toe end of his bat, comes through for a single.
Almost on this surface, these are free runs. 5 runs so far off the over, but they're almost gimme runs. England aren't having to work hard for them. If you can hold the top of the stumps in play.
Now he goes right hand, does Kamindu. Again round the wicket, and Sam Curran latches onto another delivery, which is too short, and this time does time the ball to the boundary. And England move to 81 for 6. 11 runs coming from that over. Much needed runs for England as well.
Yeah, it's the cardinal sin from the bowlers. On a pitch that's helping, don't let the batters rotate, because there's always a boundary somewhere. It's the one thing in the modern game, it's difficult to stop boundaries, but you can stop the bits in between. So going into the last ball of the over, England are already scoring 5. Gets a sort of a drag down really as he goes to his right arm off spin, having changed from his left arm orthodox. Bit of a drag down. Sam Curran far too good a player to miss out on pulling that ball into the vacant mid-wicket, and all of a sudden your over's gone for 9. When scoring runs and accumulating runs has looked so difficult, England have had sort of an easy free over there without having to take a risk. They get 9 runs, all of a sudden they're into the 80s, and that 110, that 120 looks as though it's really on the cards, all from just a little bit of execution, of just holding the top of the stumps in play when a surface is working for you.
Patarana is set to bowl. We'll see if we see Kamindu again. Picked up 2 wickets from his 2 overs. Patorama is in, targeting the pads, Yorker length, and that Dawson just can't get the bat down on the ball enough to push that ball past that short mid-wicket fielder. So 210 for 8 then, Australia under 19s. They need 68 runs from 44 balls to win that game. Otherwise, England under 19s are going to go through to the final. A couple of Surrey players in the side. Thomas Roux, though, Somerset wicketkeeper, one of two brothers who can keep wicket and bat wonderfully well. Alongside his older brother James, 110 in that innings, so brilliant. Short delivery, and this is just run down to third by Dawson, who scampers away for a single. 82 for 6.
He's captain as well, isn't he, Thomas Roux?
He is indeed, yeah. Alex French opening the bowling for England, picking up an early wicket. He hasn't bowled in the tournament so far, I don't think. Or maybe he's played in one game. And then Ralphie Albert with a couple of wickets as well. He's had a really consistent under-19 World Cup with the ball. Picked up wickets throughout.
Yeah, Alex French coming back from a stress-related injury that he had sort of back end of the summer and coming out, and it's great for the lad to get some game time.
Patorana again, left-handed Sam Curran at the crease. Can't beat backward point with a fine diving stop, taking the ball on the bounce, and made that look easy as well. Curran is at 28, and England 82 for 6, losing 4 wickets in the power play, and only Curran, Dawson, who are at the crease, and also Joss Buttler have reached double figures.
Yeah, don't forget Liam Dawson. Longer formats of the game when he gets opportunity to bat. I don't know his numbers, but he's got to be give or take an average 30 with the bat in red ball cricket, probably more. I'm doing him an injustice.
Patorana again, clipped away this time by Sam Curran, who sets off really quickly. I think there was possibly 2 there. Certainly the throw from Pavan Ratnayaka wasn't accurate, but as we all know, it's just getting that ball away, because the non-striker running to the batter at the non-striker's end, running to the danger end, doesn't know whether the ball is going to be wayward or not, so stays where he is, and it's just a single. So good fielding from Sri Lanka. Patorana has gone for just 16 from his 2.4 overs, and he's picked up 2 wickets as well.
Yeah, an apology to Liam Dawson. He averages 35 in first class cricket. I've just been informed through my headset. Apologies, Doss. I knew he was a very fine all-rounder in domestic cricket.
Yeah, maybe still with a journey to enjoy in red ball cricket for England. Short, and this is guided up and towards third, who, as he ran in from the boundary, possibly would have felt that there was a catching opportunity there, but it's dropped short. It'll be another run, and England move to 84 for 6.
I almost put the curse on him there, didn't I? But that just shows his prowess. 10,000 first class runs. He had the touch to make sure it didn't carry all the way down to third man.
Yeah, Dawson, of course, played one test match for England last summer against India. That was the 4th test. He then sat out the match at the Oval, although he did come on as a substitute fielder. Didn't travel to Australia for the Ashes, where we, of course, know that Shoaib Bashir didn't play a single minute. As Curran is called through for a quickly taken single. End of over number 14. England 85 for 6. Just 4 runs coming from Patorana's 3rd over. He's gone for 18 and picked up 2 wickets. 6 from here and over. Bats will see England to a score of 121. And you think on this pitch that could well end up being defendable?
Yeah, I certainly do. With England's armoury with the ball, Adil Rashid, absolute superstar, performer when the ball offers something. He spins it both ways. His command of length, his command of variation of pace is quite incredible. Liam Dawson played for long periods of time at Hampshire when they had great overseas spin and batting options. On these sorts of surfaces, fine exponent on this sort of thing, and the rest of the attack sort of marries up to defending 121. In fact, I don't think England have lost for like 10 games or more with a total on the board. So if they can scrape to that 120, I really do think that's very defendable.
Jack's bowled 2 overs in the power play in the last T20 as well. Pulled really well by Sam Curran. He's picked up on the length so quickly here. This delivery from Wellalage didn't quite sit up to be hit, but it was a touch short, and with the fielder out at deep mid-wicket and at long on, split the gap, and another 4 to the score.
Yeah, this is all about depth of the crease. Sammy Curran deep into the crease. He's got the energy in his legs, so he's able to rock back and change the length of the ball.
Wider, and just skirts past the outside edge as Sam Curran tries to guide that ball through backward point. Taken by Mendes behind the stumps, and there's a little chat between the two as well. Mendes playing in his 100th T20 for Sri Lanka today. Connection this time, cut away for a single, and Curran moves to 35. England 90 for 6, midway point of the 15th.
It does feel like the game has just been set up by England here. Dawson has jumped Overton in the lineup, not for anything other than trying to save the ammunition, save the striking prowess of Overton for the back end, the shorter, where there's not too much thought required. It's kind of like every ball must go, and we're almost an over away from that. Once you get to 16, is it a bit tax-free when you're looking to score more boundaries, hit more boundaries?
Wellalage continuing, left armour, slow left arm. It keeps a touch low and seems to go on with the arm actually towards leg stump. Dawson's got to get it back down quickly. Can't beat point. Tell you what, Bats, you've played in and you have coached a lot of teams, and when your backs are against the wall, it's all well and good having nice looking players, but you want players who can fight and grind out ugly wins. Oh, that turns, actually squares Dawson up, but deals with the bounce and the turn, and has a presence of mind to come through for a very quick single. These two, Dawson and Curran, are out and out fighters, aren't they?
Yeah, they compete, and they like to compete. That will be the thing, and the point of difference. If these two can bat another 18 balls together, England will get that total. No dramas.
1 ball left of the 15th. Sam Curran is 35 not out, and Liam Dawson is 12. Both going at a run a ball. This time Curran deciding to pull a ball straight. He's using his feet well, and that's the end of the over. Another single coming from it. 7 runs in total. That's at the end of Wellalage. Picked up 1 wicket for 28 from his 4, and 15 overs in. Batting first. England 92 for 6.
Yeah, I think Wellalage might be a little bit disappointed with the final return there on a surface like this. Going at 6 and over, it's me being a bit greedy from a spinning point of view, but you don't get too many surfaces, particularly in T20 cricket, where you get that opportunity. I think he's sort of 1 ball away from doing his job, and it was an absolute wonderful ball that got Banton. Great skill, got it up and down and pitched about leg stump at the top of middle, but 1 boundary too many. It should have gone for 24 possibly, but yeah, I just feel like the scene is set here for England to probably bat and play another over and then start looking to be a fraction more expansive. Once you've got 24 balls, if you can hit 4 of those 24 out the ground, you're absolutely where you want to be.
Jamie Overton waiting to come in. Adil Rashid can hit a few. Luke Wood down at 11. Am I missing somebody? No, that's it, I think. So a lot riding on these two, but Overton still to come as Curran takes a single, just pushing that towards mid-wicket, and the keeper Mendes has to run around from the wicket with the field spread to field. I was mentioning Will Jacks bowled 2 overs in the power play. He would have been almost more reliant on him as a bowler than a batter.
His numbers worldwide in power play are as good as most of the fast bowlers. Is an exceptional power play spinner. Almost to the extent of take the surface out of it, he goes very well in the power play. I know Mumbai Indians like him doing that role.
Tikshana, oh, Dawson just loses his body shape a touch, trying to overhit this cut shot, moving away from the ball, and it's just skipped on. Bit of additional bounce. Taken behind the stumps by Mendes. Tikshana, who was rested for the ODI series, played in the first T20, didn't play the second, and Dawson again kind of caught between trying to play this towards mid-wicket, or just defending it, and in the end just hits it back to the bowler. Here he comes again on the slog sweep. Is Dawson. This is well outside off stump, relatively risk-free shot, but misses and is called through for a bye. Good over from Tikshana. Just 2 runs coming from it so far, or 1 run coming from it. A 94 for 6, England.
Those previous 3 balls just show how difficult it is for the batters if you're prepared to do the work particularly as a spinner. You just hold the top of the stumps. You don't even need the ball to spin too much because it's staying in the surface. Predict where their big shot is going to come and second guess them.
And round the wicket to Curran, who clips us away off his pads, and that's a really well taken second run. The ball has been thrown at the stumps at the striker's end. There's not much fuss behind it from Mendes. The ball connecting on the fall. It does look from the body language that Sam Curran was home. Will go upstairs, but it does seem like it's another 2 runs to the score.
Yeah, he was pushing from striking the ball. He was telling Dawes, I'm coming back. And as he tapped, he almost changed direction to make sure that he was coming across the throw, which is the right way to be. He's crossed the line by a good 1.5 feet. He's got a bit of a blow on there as Sam. We might get a few shuttles in him when he gets back home. We'll get that CV up for him.
He must have been out of the country for a while. Did he come back at all?
Yeah, from middle of October he's been away. He won the IL20.
Yeah, stand-in skipper. This is full and driven back to the bowler, and at the end of a really good over from Mahesh Tikshana. So that's his spell done. 4 overs, 1 for 16, and England 96 for 6. 4 overs remaining in the innings with Dawson 12 not out. Sam Curran 39 from 38. I lost track. Played for England in New Zealand in November. Played in the ILT20 over December. He was popped up in the Big Bash. Didn't he play against Tom Curran?
Yep, did. I think Sam won, didn't he?
Probably. Knowing Sam.
I'm pretty sure. He played for the Pink Sixers, didn't he? Pink team.
Yeah, but didn't the Scorchers win?
Scorchers won it.
Oh, yeah. And was Sam in the... Did he, mate?
No.
Oh, no, he would have been here.
I mean, it's strange, isn't it? All players going in for 2 and 3 games and then dipping in, dipping out. It's very, very tough. Because I think Australian Big Bash, they try and do it almost domestically like we do in England, where you try and get your overseas players for all the tournaments, so you get a bit of a plan and a bit of a method. But those days are disappearing because of the cricket being played around the world. You kind of got to accept that you might have 2 or 3 players coming in and coming out, but as long as you keep the clarity of the role and who you're swapping them for.
Swing and a miss from Liam Dawson. First ball of Dasun Shanaka, the T20 skipper of Sri Lanka. And again, he's really been changing it up. He's bowled in the power play. Hasn't picked up a wicket, but he's bowled really well. Gone for just 12 runs so far. And that was slower than some faster deliveries from a spinner. Shows the 2 worlds combining. On the pull, top edge, and it will drop short. The fielder at mid-wicket on the boundary. It would have gone straight to him if inside the circle, but Dawson escapes. Another run to the score. England inching towards 100 here on TalkSport 2, the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel. 97 for 6.
Yeah, Shanaka being very smart. I'm sure the analyst would have told him, look, Dawson's more of a deflector. He's wanting to ramp and move the field around as opposed to smack it over your head into the sight screen. So he's taking all the energy out of the ball. Slower balls into the 60s, very difficult for a slight man to clear boundaries at that when the surface is stopping and just holding on you.
Fuller delivery on middle and off, not quite Yorker length, allows Sam Curran to drive. Can't quite time it though, and it's just a single up to long on. Curran moves to 40. Really important knock this. England 98 for 6. At what point do you think Dawson, who's played a good hand here, starts thinking to himself, England might need an over or two of Jamie Overton?
Yeah, I think he's already thought. I think the previous ball he was trying to collect it.
Tries to go again. No timing again from Dawson. He looks a touch frustrated, having to create his own speed there again. 67 miles an hour from Shanaka. Changing it up really well. And Liam Dawson, for one, isn't able to tuck in.
Yeah, and that's where, if Jamie Overton were to get in at some point, he's just got longer levers. He's a taller man, so there's more leverage. You need to move less. You need to add less power to the strike because you already have it there with the levers, really.
2 balls left to the 17. Sam Curran on strike. England 99 for 6, goes full again, and this is whipped through mid-wicket. There's a shot at the stumps at the non-striker's end from the fielder on the boundary. Shanaka can't collect behind the stumps. It's Kamindu out there, and that's another 2 runs to the score. England go past 100, 101 for 6, 3.1 overs remaining. Gareth Batty alongside me, feeling like a score of 120 may well end up being defendable if, of course, England bowl and field as well as what Sri Lanka have done today.
Yeah, England just need to keep scrapping. That single there turned into a double, into a 2. Those are the little margins in a game like this. If you can out-2 the opposition, squeeze those little bits, and you still need somebody to have a bit of a day out and hit 2 or 3 more boundaries now, but England are going about it the right way.
Last ball of Shanaka's over. Sam Curran finally connects, and the ball sails over wide long on. Shanaka's frustrated. That's what England needed. Curran moves to 48. England 107 for 6 with 3 overs remaining in the innings.
Yeah, it's just setting yourself. It's having that positive intent. England got 5 off the over going into the last ball. Shanaka tries the slower ball again. This time gets it up out the hand. Goes into slot. Sam Curran not missing that. That's on the range. He's literally got his tee in the wicket and he's smacked him over long on. Wonderful piece of batting. Great presence of mind from Sam Curran. And from Liam Dawson playing a fine hand to get him back on strike. So he's facing that last ball. We touched on it. The single turns to a 2. You've got your danger man back on who has that striking prowess. England are going about this really well. It's that scrappy sort of performance. It's staying in the game. It's making every single thing count. And just from a bowling point of view, you're just starting to see Sri Lanka just making the odd mistake with 18 balls to go. England are probably placed not a million miles away from where they want to be.
Australia under-19s have hit 33 from 2 overs and suddenly need 32 from 24 balls. But I've just been told that they've lost a wicket. So 1 wicket remaining, but they've still got a young guy by the name of Peake, Oliver Peake, who is on the rampage. So if he stays there, Australia under-19s might have a chance. Another swing and a miss. Chamira back into the bowling for Sri Lanka. That looked like it was going to take off stump and suddenly seemed to seam away. Dawson 14 from 19. And Sam Curran has just come down to have a word. Dawson almost looking like he's trying to overhit the ball now.
Yeah, it's a good piece of bowling from Chamira, to be fair. Came down the side of the ball, so it's like an old-fashioned leg cutter, I suppose, where the ball goes into leg stump and then cuts back towards off stump, with obviously a lack of pace on it, with it being a slower ball.
Chimera again. Oh, this time Dawson does connect and taken at deep mid wicket. Good, safe pair of hands running rounds. Dawson had to go for it. And I tell you what, a few metres on that and it would have sailed away for 6. But his innings just started to show signs of stress. And that is a 7th wicket to fall now, with Overton set to come in. Chimera's struck. 107 for 7 now, England.
Yeah, it's that leg cutter slower ball again from Chimera. This time straighter on the stumps into that middle and leg, so cramped Dawson a little bit. He dragged it into that vacant mid-wicket area. Nice catch on the boundary. Only, like John Norman said, only a couple of metres inside the ropes, but make no mistake, that's a nice little partnership there from England. Liam Dawson playing his part in it, allowing Sam Curran to dominate the innings from an England point of view. He's 48 of 41, and England just nicely creeping towards a total that they will definitely be thinking they can defend if, like John Norman said, if they can field well and if they can bowl well. They can take some lessons from Sri Lanka on what's worked and what hasn't worked.
And Chimera, with Overton about to face his first ball. Oh, well, he's coming forward and he's beaten on the move past the outside edge. He's actually playing defensively and the ball dies on Mendes behind the stumps anyway. Again, more movement, this time away from the right-hander. No run.
Oh, play that. That was like a spinner, wasn't it? Sort of went into middle stump and jagged off the surface with no pace, which makes it even harder to smack out the ground.
He can bowl fast, Chimera. In again, he's past the umpire and Overton just steps away, lofts this ball up towards the fielder, running round at long off. It's taken brilliantly, but as he continues his follow through, he realises he's going to go over the boundary. Well, Alage out there, who pulled off a brilliant catch in one of the ODIs, and he just has to hurl the ball back in field. It's not a catch, it's not a wicket, it is 2 runs, but he saved 6, or he saved 4, because that was going for 6.
Yeah, Jamie Overton trying to get it into out over extra cover. This time gets it a little bit straight, but wonderful piece of fielding. Great presence of mind, because he takes the catch. He could have easily sort of stopped at that, but he knows his momentum's taking him out. He's lost balance, he throws it up with his right hand, not able to throw it up so he could catch it again. But like you say, John Norman, I think that's probably going for 6. So he saved 4. Worst case, best case scenario 4. Worst case 2.
Yeah, brilliant bit of fielding. But already you can just see what Overton brings to this batting lineup, because he almost tried to caress that ball to the boundary. Chimera again, this time, oh, this could be the end of Overton. Loses his body shape and he's been caught at point. Ball has just flown into the sky. Fielder did well actually, but that's the end of Overton's innings and England lose their 8th wicket. 109 for 8 and in danger now of getting bowled out.
Yeah, Chimera, wonderful piece of bowling again. He's not tried anything different this over. He's got the surface, he's got the pace of it, he's got the feel of it, he's gone that side of the hand, leg cutter again. This time holds his length back so Overton can't get enough blade on it to get it up and over that sort of extra cover mid-off area like he did do the previous ball. This time gets it fat, high up the bat, goes up the chimney, and a very, very good catch from, I'm not entirely sure who it was at backward point there, but took the ball inches off the ground, stayed steady, got himself set and took the catch.
It was Leonargate with the catch, Chimera with the wicket. 4 for 14. Talking about him before the innings, it's been mainstay when injury is allowed within the Sri Lankan white ball setup for a number of years now. And you can see why they were so desperate to get him back into the team for the T20 World Cup. Rashid, the new batter. First ball, Chamira fires in a wide Yorker, which is dug out by Rashid. And that leaves England 109 for 8. 2 overs remaining here on TalkSport 2 and the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel. And a lot reliant now on the shoulders of Sam Curran, who is 48 not out from 41 deliveries.
2 runs and 2 wickets off the over. Chamira really is at the peak of his powers, controlling length with his slower ball, and then last ball to the new batter Adil Rashid, firing that Yorker in with a bit of tail. Just for Goffey, if he's listening, Adil Rashid, we know his first class average is better than certain England openers. We'll get that in for you, Goffey lad. So 12 balls to go from an England point of view. The way I would look at this is just 2 boundaries, 2 sixes in 12 balls, and England get themselves to a total that I think they'll really, really fancy and really be able to. It's just whether Sri Lanka miss or England can have that prowess to just manipulate something out of some good bowling. Not going to be easy on this surface.
In the under-19 World Cup semi-final, Australia need 28 from 18 deliveries, 1 wicket in hand, and Oliver Peake has reached 100 from 85 balls. He's given the Australians a sniff. So I'll keep you updated with that score. It's Patarana in, and this is hurled by the bowler well wide of the left-hander, Curran. And Mendes has to dive to his left to prevent prevent a boundary. But Patarana will have to bowl that one again. 110 for 8 then, with Curran 48. Given a chance just to remind those watching what he's capable of. Not that they necessarily need reminding. He was out the white ball side for quite some time, was Curran. And this time he's surprised by Patarana delivery, which almost kicks up a touch. Gets into position to hit this through cover, and then suddenly it's almost like he's seen that snake that you saw at Candy all those years ago.
It was massive, that snake. I tell you what, that took dinosaurs down, that thing. It's ridiculous.
They've got some of them in Sri Lanka as well, those big monitor lizards.
It's a fine piece of bowling again, taking it out of the arc of Sam Curran's strike. He wants it a bit closer to him, and he's taking it outside that, and it's an off-cutter to boot, so it's all going away from him. Tough night for the keepers tonight on a surface like this.
This is on-off stump, and Curran rides the bounce and sets off really quickly. On completing the single, looks up, sees a fielder coming in from the boundary. Backwards square leg, and realises that there's not 2 runs there, so Rashid is sent back, and it's Adil Rashid who'll have to face up.
Again on a low scoring game, that bit of intervention from Sri Lanka to stop the 2, stop Curran getting back on strike. The little tiny wins often are the difference between winning and losing.
Rashid's about to face his second delivery, yet to get off the mark. England 111 for 8. And here comes a Patarana, and this is pushed out to extra cover. Rashid's got to get the roller skates on. The afterburners. Who's that? He's just fallen over in the outfield. So Wellalage. Sri Lanka don't want him to get injured. Either way, just a little misfield there. Allows Rashid through for the single. More importantly, it gets Sam Curran back on strike. Well, he just turned over his left ankle there, didn't he, the slow left armour? Could have been nasty. I think Rashid would have been home anyway. Actually, probably would have picked up, maybe thrown at the non-striker's end. Either way, 1 run scored, and England find themselves at 112 for 8. Curran at the crease, and this is pushed up to long on for a single. And a shout of no. Oof. The ball is thrown in from long on and connects with the stumps at the non-striker's end. So wise decision not to go for 2. The England balcony applaud. Curran just raises his bat, has a little chat with Adil Rashid. 50 up for Sam Curran in good time as well. 44 deliveries. He's played a responsible and mature knock. Can he help England up to score with 8 balls left in the innings, around 125?
Yeah, he's just played the responsible innings that it required from the time he came in. England under a bit of fire from Sri Lanka, but he's been able to play beautifully well.
Patrana in, and Rashid just trying to push this through extra cover, but actually again getting on top of the ball quite early and it looping up towards mid-on. No fielder there, so comfortable single, and I can tell you that England's under-19s have won their match against Australia, meaning England will take their place in the final of the under-19 World Cup. Oliver Peake, last man out for 100, and so some success for England against Australia, which is somewhat overdue. Is Sam Curran playing the under-19s World Cup? He started playing for England so young.
Yeah, he definitely played under-19s, whether he played...
Because he was 19 when he played for England. This is pulled by Curran to the boundary. All timing, as this delivery was just dug in a touch by Patrana. It was straight, kind of underneath Curran's armpit, and he has placed this to the boundary for 4. 118 for 8.
Yeah, this is all skill on a surface where the bowlers are taking the energy out of the ball and trying cutters and slower balls, to have the presence of mind, but also the skill to de-weight his front foot, to be able to ride that ball into the vacant sort of wide square leg, fine leg area. The presence of mind is incredible, and it really does show the calibre of the innings from Sam Curran. 54 now of 45 on a very difficult surface, and England, you feel, are creeping towards a total that changing room will feel like, with the best leg spinner in the world and the attack that they have, they'll feel like they can defend this. They can have a big last over.
118 for 8 then. It is time for the last over, and Adil Rashid just gets the ball over short fine leg and away to the boundary for 4, moving across the crease and just helping it on its way. Shamira is set to bowl the final over. He's picked up 4 wickets already, 4 for 18, and that will help the England cause. 122 for 8.
No, it's just brilliant batting here from Adil Rashid. It's the leg cutter again, and he basically takes all the pace out of it, so he's had to get deep in the crease, he's had to get offside of the ball, and then just a flick of the wrist last minute just to put that little bit of energy to get it up and over, and it was tantalising for short 45, but just managed to get it enough on it to get it up and over, and with that he's enforced the field change, so now he's got deep fine leg back.
Shamira again. Oh, Rashid goes downtown, he's got the elevation, and it's just going to drop short of long on, running in from the boundary. So another run to the score. 4 balls left in the innings. Sam Curran 54 not out, and now importantly he's back on strike. England 123 for 8.
This is going to be interesting to see how this partnership plays these last 4 balls. There's become a thing in modern T20 cricket that the main striker, the main batter, takes these 4 balls, because you're asking for 1 to go out of the ground, if not 2. Will England do that, or will they recognise the fact that this is a tough surface and every run that you scrap for is as important as the potential of a boundary? Let's not give up a run. It's an interesting one. It's a difficult decision-making process. Neither one is right until the end of the game, when you can dissect it.
And in and amongst that, Shamira will be hoping for his first 5 in international T20 cricket. 4 for 19. That's already his best in the format. Can he take a wicket? Can he prevent England from reaching 130? Say, England would have taken that at 60 for 6. And if they get there, it's thanks to a fine knock by Sam Curran. who's opened the bowling for England in the first 2 T20s as well. So once again showing his worth, his all-round worth. Shamira in now. This is fired wide and full. Curran can't get the bat down on the ball. Little look towards the umpire to see if it's going to be signalled wide. It isn't. And England remain 123 for 8.
Yeah, great piece of bowling this from Chimera. Takes it out of Sam Curran's hitting area. He's predominantly bowled this leg cutter to the right-handers. I think it's a brave move bowling that to Sam Curran, because if you get your length wrong, he's just literally opening up home field. He'll be targeting the sight screen, but he'll drag sort of long on and mid-wicket, and we know he has the power.
Shamira again goes full again and driven on the up. One bounce 4 through cover. And Sam Curran doesn't move a muscle. 127 for 8 then, England. 2 balls remaining in the innings.
Oh, what a shot this is. Sam Curran second-guessed him that he's trying to get it out there on the wide line. Sam Curran gets deep in the crease, holds the energy on his left foot, which gives him the ability to get the elevation up and over extra cover. That's the shot of a high-class player. Wonderfully executed, punched it over extra cover, 1 bounce 4. On a night where boundaries have been very difficult to come by, he's made it look very simple as and when the bowlers have become predictable.
Yeah, 47 deliveries, 6 fours and a 6. Still going at a strike rate of 123. Sam Curran, 58 not out. And we've seen 3 boundaries come from the last 5 deliveries. Shamira goes wide and full again, and Sam Curran's going to be caught at deep backward points. Well, the ball was there to be hit. He hit it, but didn't get quite enough distance. And that, Gareth Batty, is a 5th wicket for Shamira on his return to the Sri Lanka T20 side. So brilliant from him, and also fantastic knock from Sam Curran. England 127 for 9, 1 ball left in the innings.
Yeah, Chimera, he's made his decisions and he's made it quite plain to the batters what he's going to do, and on this occasion to Sam Curran, he's decided he's holding that wide line outside his off stump. He's got his field set for it. He holds it again, and Sam couldn't quite get the body position to get it up over extra cover. This time it's a fat outside edge that flies out to third man. But make no mistake, that is a quite sensational innings from Sam Curran. 58, striking at 123 on a difficult surface. So both bat and ball getting a heck of a lot of credit in that one little battle within the 120 balls that are going to be bowled in this innings.
Lowest target defended at Palakelli, September 2019, Sri Lanka 125 for 8. In reply, New Zealand 88 all out. Sri Lanka winning by 37 runs. Last ball of the innings. It's bowled by Chimera, and Luke Wood will take a single and then run from the field. He's got some work to do. Rashid left unbeaten on 7 not out. Chimera ends with brilliant figures, his best in international T20, 5 for 24. Another really good crowd in at Kandy have enjoyed an innings which saw Sri Lanka get on top early with 4 wickets falling in the power play. Ben Duckett back in the side ahead of Phil Salt. LBW without scoring. Jacob Bethel slicing to slip on the drive. Banton bowled on the, I don't know if it was a slog, but I think it was probably there to be hit. He went for 7, and when Harry Brook popped a ball to cover for 4, England were 34 for 4. And they've been in trouble in the innings ever since, really. Joss Buttler and Sam Curran put on 13 before Buttler was deceived, bowled through the gate for 25. And when Jacks went for just 3, 60 for 6 at that stage, it looked like England might get bowled out. But Liam Dawson and Sam Curran combined with a 7th wicket partnership of 37, and Sam Curran himself ended up being the last man out for 58 from 48. And it means, Gareth Barry, that England have got a puncher's chance. Well, maybe better than that, actually. It looked a pitch that gave plenty to both spin and pace. We've seen quite a few games where spin has dominated and pace has been a touch expensive. Not so today. Wickets all around the board, so both teams will walk off. England will feel they've got a chance. Sri Lanka probably the happier of the two sides, but equally we've seen some fine bowling and some good batting as well.
Yeah, I think England showed some great resilience, if I'm brutally honest, in that innings. There were periods where England could have folded and gone for the tried and tested. We're just going to try and smack it out the ground to hit our way out of it. They didn't, and I think the epitome of that was that seventh wicket partnership with Liam Dawson and Sam Curran. I think it was 37 or 47. It was a wonderful partnership. It got England into the position that they find themselves in now, where both changing rooms will really genuinely feel like they can win this game of cricket. So I think it all comes down to the power play, really. The batting power play from Sri Lanka now, the first 6 overs, if they can get off to what is a traditional dashing Sri Lankan start, they will really feel like they can chase it down. They're a bit more adaptable, I suppose, playing spin, but they're heavy reliant on a certain number of players. They don't quite have the depth in their batting prowess that England possess, and they'll have to negotiate Adil Rashid's 4 overs. His 24 balls are going to be crucial, but either side of that, this is really game on, and it's going to be a fascinating second half of this encounter.
Brilliant stuff. Gareth Batty, head coach at Surrey, as well as the former England bowler. Well, Gareth Batty is a former England bowler as well. Steve Harmison, Roshan Abhisinger, myself, John Norman, will be bringing you the conclusion of this match and the series very shortly here on TalkSport 2, the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel. Sri Lanka need 129 runs to win the game after England posted 128 for 9.
Welcome to the Pallekele International Stadium, where Sri Lanka are now, after not so challenging target, 129 is what they got to get on paper, but I can tell you that this surface is not the easiest to bat on. Luke Wood, left arm fast medium, you think, Harmy?
Yeah, fast medium. He's skiddier in trajectory, a little bit quicker, similar release point and trajectory to Sam Curran, but a lot quicker through the air. Will probably bowl more pace on the ball than what Sam Curran would. If he bowls the other end.
Wood comes in and bowls outside the off stump, and they are off the mark. Sri Lanka, I think this power play and the little bit of fast bowlers are going to be critical here. If Sri Lanka can get off to a flyer, and then they might be able to negotiate the spin.
Yeah, England struggled in the power play largely down to the fact that Sri Lanka nailed their lines and lengths and their change-ups. Sri Lanka have had very, very good power players against England in this white ball tour so far. It's the middle period against the spin where Sri Lanka have struggled. If they come out and have the power play like they've been having, they put a big hole in that small total England have got.
Wood comes in, bowls well, just outside the off stump. That's pace on. That's mid-80s, going past the outside edge. And it's Mishara who's a little bit tentative. Pushes at it. There is no run. So, you reckon Sri Lanka will be cautious, or what is your take on this?
I think they've got to go hard. They can lose a couple of wickets trying to get to 50, 52 to 55. If they get that in the power play, then it's game over. I mean, that's what they've been. The average power play is 56, I think, or 58.
Here comes Wood again, bowls short, and Mishara might be taken at mid-on. Yes, fairly simple catch. And the catcher is Duckett, who takes the catch, and England have struck in the very first over. Kamil Mishara miscuing a pull, and game on.
Ben Duckett thought that was coming a little bit quicker. I mean, Sri Lanka lose a wicket before the Barmy Army finished Jerusalem. I mean, what a great start for England. Just a little bit quicker, Luke Wood. Mishara has misjudged the pace. I think the height wasn't a problem. I just think it got onto him a little bit quicker than he thought it was going to. Luke Wood's fired up. His first game on this tour so far. Mishara little poke outside the off stump for his first delivery and a mistimed pull shot for his second, and he's succumbed. England, great start, 1 for 1.
Yeah, they couldn't have asked for a better start. Well, they were going to anyway unleash the spinner, so they had to get through the seam bowlers overs with minimum damage. That's as far as England is concerned. And now, damage they have definitely started inflicting with the wicket in the very first over. Kusal Mendis comes out in his 100th cap. Celebrated 31 years yesterday. Captain of the Sri Lanka under-19 side. That's where he announced himself. Kusal Mendis, and then of course have captain Sri Lanka, but hasn't been regular as a captain. But he's on strike. He's got a massive role to play here. Pathum Nissanka at the other end. His strike rate is 131, a best of 86, 17 50s. Luke Wood is fired up. In fact, he's almost in. Kusal Mendis waits and bowls a good delivery. That was pace on. Nearly 140. I don't think Kusal Mendis saw him running in. He was just settling in when Luke Wood was into his run-up, and almost halfway there when Kusal Mendis just looked up.
Good start from Luke Wood. Pace on, all 4 deliveries, pace on. Between 85 and 86 mile an hour for all 4 balls, and they've been on the money, straight. That one just shaped back in. The angle that Luke Wood comes from, trajectory he's coming from, he's targeting the stumps, front pad stumps.
Wood again from over the wicket, bowls to Mendis. That's a full toss, in fact a Yorker. I wouldn't say full toss, but it was a Yorker that's dug out and he gets a boundary. Very fine. So Sri Lanka are up and running. Kusal Mendis, rather not streakily, but not where he intended it to go, off an inside edge, gets a boundary.
A full ball on leg stump. 86 miles an hour, and Kusal Mendis just manages to just turn the face on it. He got the bat stuck on the ground. A bit like we've seen a little bit earlier. I can't remember who it was when it came out. Sam Curran, when the bat and the ball went past each other at the same time. Just got enough on it to go fine leg.
Lookwood comes in, bowls, and Kane hits the bat hard. Mendis plays it away on the offside. It's a good eventful first over for England. Sri Lanka 5 for 1, Kusal Mendis 4, Nissanka 1. Quick reminder, you're listening to TalkSport 2 and also watching us on TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel.
Good start from Luke Wood. He's got a bit of shape, brought the stumps into play, majority of the deliveries. He dragged his length back, gone a bit fuller in the last couple of balls, possibly got excited from the wicket, but a good wicket in that first over. I think with the left-hander now all out of the game in Mashara, I think England's decision to bowl spin with Liam Dawson, I think, is the right one with 2 right-handers at the crease.
Well, this was, I think, predicted. They were going to go with Dawson, but I'd like to see a slip in for Dawson, because yes, it's a power play and you've got just 2 fielders outside the circle, so might as well use one of the fielders that are being used in defensive position, saving one, at least at slip.
Yeah, you could go with, come away from the backward point, or bring the square leg into the catching position and have another man on the offside and have him at slip.
Here comes Dawson, bowls, and Pathum Nissanka comes forward very defensively, and he's looking to fire it through 92 Ks, but I'll definitely be tempted to have somebody at slip.
Sri Lanka have struggled against England's spin, especially Dawson and Rashid so far in this white ball tour.
Dawson comes in, and Nissanka gives himself a bit of room. Again, that ball coming in with the arm rather than spinning. Nissanka just chops it away on the offside to the man at cover. So 2 dots for Dawson, who's maintained a very good economy in his career so far as he comes in again. Nice easy action, and Nissanka looks to drag it from outside the off stump. Was looking to go over square leg. Now that can be very dangerous, because if it grips in the surface and just holds up a bit, that's where the trouble is going to be for Nissanka when he attempts shots like that. Dawson gets through his overs very quickly. Almost comes over a few steps from round the wicket. Goes to Nissanka, who is playing it late and brilliantly done at short third. For a moment I thought it went past the fielder. Excellent work by Sam Curran.
Yeah, Curran did well there. He did really well. He anticipated, obviously, pace on the ball. He anticipated that the batter was going to late cut it. Just let the ball come to him. It was on off stump. He missed that, and it's game over. For Nissanka, brings Mendes on strike. A good stop from Sam Curran. Went with his other right hand. Remember, he damaged his left hand in the last game.
Slightly slower. And there was a slight confusion because Nissanka was looking for a single, but that was well fielded by Bethel. It was bowled slower, and Mendes on the back foot looking to punch it away on the offside. Found the man at extra cover. That was Bethel to his right. So far, just a single. Been a very fine over from Dawson, with mid-on saving one. Deep mid-wicket out on the boundary. Long off out on the boundary. Here comes Dawson. Goes. Kusal Mendes plays it defensively, and a fine over for England and Dawson. 2 overs done. 6 for 1. You're on TalkSport 2 and watching us on TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel.
England posting 128. They're going to have to get off to a good start, and they have. They've got off to a brilliant start. Woods bowled good pace at the stumps. He's kept the stumps in play and made it very, very difficult for the Sri Lankan batter to hit through the line of the ball. No width on offer. The surface, the ball's just sticking into the surface. Liam Dawson's bowled a lot flatter and a lot quicker than he probably has in this series so far. And England have put good 12 balls together. Now can they back it up?
Here comes Wood. Patum Nissanka is pushing it behind point for a single. So we speak about discipline in the bowling. We did see that in when England batted, and so far England have been very impressive. This 2.1 overs bowled. Wood has been, as you said, at the batter. The spinners have been brilliant. The over of Dawson, who just kept bowling a length and just did not let the batters settle in or go after him. So it's a very watchful kind of start, as here is Luke Wood turning. He's got a very longish run, about 30 yards, comes in, bowls, and Mendes gets a slow one. Cleverly bowled. That is really brilliantly bowled, because there was hardly any change in his action.
No, I think he's kept his arm speed very, very good there. Good deception. We've seen some great slower balls bowled tonight, executed fantastically well by all the seamers that have been on show. There's Luke Wood. Again, just running his fingers across the delivery with the same arm speed. Batter thinking it's coming a little bit quicker, not quite able to adjust.
Wood comes in, short fine leg inside the circle. Bowls to Mendes, who goes full and drives it to Bethel at extra cover. It's not Bethel, I think it's Jacks at extra cover, because it was hit with not great timing, found the fielder. So lots of dots being built by England, which is good. So straight away, Harmy, they're creating that pressure and uncertainty in the minds of the Sri Lankan batters.
This woman, the Sri Lankan batters, you see this as a unit. England are out there, extra cover, mid-wicket are very, very close, making sure that they're in the eye line of the batter. No singles are on offer.
Wood comes in, bowls, and Mendes again has to defend, because it's a very fine length and line from Wood, and good pace. Mid-130s, quick enough to hurry the batter, and good line and length to keep the batter quiet. And another dot.
I've just seen a replay of the previous over, and Liam Dawson driving the ball into the pitch, and the pitch is just breaking up. It's disturbing the surface. There's big chunks of the surface coming up, telling you the dryness of this pitch.
Wood comes in, bowls, and Mendes gets a bit of width outside the off stump and plays a forcing shot. Only a single. We call them minor explosions in these parts of the world.
Minor explosions, yes. I think England would like to see a few more minor explosions. 1 or 2 bigger ones, I think, would be very nice. England had big explosions when they batted, but unfortunately it was their wicket column that was the big explosion. As long as Sri Lanka don't get that wicket column to go as quickly as what England's done, buy themselves some time, give themselves a chance to chase this 129 to win.
Here comes Wood, bowls, and Nissanka, has he got a hold of it? Not so sure. I think the fielder has done brilliantly. That's Bethel. It's a bit difficult to understand what exactly the end result was, but let me tell you, he made an effort to try and stop the 6. It was going over him, he couldn't stop it, he looked to parry it in, and he did, but I think eventually hit the line.
He did. It was a great effort from Jacob Bethel. It was a back of a length ball from Wood, who's been picked up. It was just a pick-up pull. It wasn't a full-blown effort shot. He just tried to pick it up, going along with the pace, with the angle, and Jacob Bethel at deep square leg has managed to get in a position to give himself a base to catch the ball, knowing that he is going over. He's going to have to go over the rope because of how far the ball was going. So he had himself set. He knew he was going to have to catch it and throw it up in the air. And as he's thrown it up in the air, he's thrown it up behind the line. He's jumped up, tried to palm it up, but unfortunately wasn't in a position to palm it up far enough. Oh, back into play, and it went for 6.
Comes Overton now and bowls on the leg stump to Kusal Mendes, who turns it away on the onside for a single. Now this is interesting. How would Overton bowl? Now that was 122. He's someone who looks to bowl with pace on. We're getting a replay of what happened. The last ball, I think Bethel made a very good effort. Oh, I think at that point, it was the first point of contact. When he held on to it, it already touched the rope, so it was 6 anyway. Good effort, but 6. Hit hard and high, down to deep mid-wicket. I think it's 6 as well. Pathum Nissanka, pace on. That's the mistake Overton makes here. And Nissanka picks the length and deposits it somewhere over mid-wicket.
Pace on, too close to Nissanka, and give him a chance to get his hand out in front of himself, get his hands free and play the full flourish to get it in front of square. That's how slow this is. That's 88 mile an hour.
Overton comes in and bowls on the leg stump, drops it away on the onside. Mendes, beg your pardon, Nissanka, that is, gets a single. So lovely shot. We're getting that replay. Pace on, back of a length. Nissanka waiting for it on the back foot and then hitting it over mid-wicket.
It's in the slot, 80 metres. That's how far it went. It was in the slot from Jamie Overton. He's saying a good shot, but I think it was a poor delivery.
Here comes Overton bowls, and this is 4 short and just outside the off stump. This is the over that England were waiting for, Sri Lanka was waiting for, and they seem to be getting it. They've conceded 12 of the first 4. It's 26 for 1 with the boundaries, 2 6s and 2 4s already in the over. It's time to join John in the studio.
Thank you, Roshan. Yeah, this is going away of Sri Lanka. 26 for 1, chasing 129 to win the match and end this T20 series on a high. Jamie Overton has gone for a couple in his first over. In again, and it's this is nicely played by Kusal Mendes. It'll just be a single. He's playing in his 100th T20. Moves to 11. Nissanka, who set Sri Lanka off to a great start in the second T20. A 22 ball knock of 34. Went at a runner ball in the first T20 as well. And again, 16 from 9. Last ball of Overton's first over. It's gone for 13. In now on the pads of Nissanka, who just rolls the wrists and pushes this out to short mid-wicket. End of the over. Sri Lanka 4 overs into the run chase, 28 for 1.
Yeah, nice over from a Sri Lankan point of view there. A little bit of bludgeon, explosive power from Nissanka, and then a real deft touch from Mendes. One going for 6 over wide mid-wicket, and the other Mendes, wonderful classical player, just waits for the ball to come to him and just taps it on its head down to a vacant third man. And that's the challenge for any bowler in the power play. You can only have the 2 out, and on a pitch like this, they're gonna try and take some advantage of that. And unfortunately, Jamie Overton on the receiving end there. Just got a couple of technical difficulties here, so just while you wait for us, there's a beautiful shot there from Nissanka down on the sweep. 6 runs from the moment it's left the bat, and that has been absolutely smashed
backward a square leg, and Sri Lanka 34 for 1. Dawson's first ball. Just getting his line wrong, and that has been punished by Nissanka. Really climbed into it and away for 6. He's been really aggressive at the top of the order, as most top order batters are, but he's been successful. 23 from 11. Dawson is in again. This time squirts off the top edge. The leading edge is taken by Will Jacks at cover point, and Dawson has struck. Nissanka's got to go, and Sri Lanka lose their second, 34 for 2.
Yeah, Dawson holding his nerve here, firing that ball relatively full. You'd say it's kind of slot, but because of the nature of the surface, it just disturbs some footholds in and around that leg stump, and Nissanka sort of looks at the pitch as if to go, wow, that's taken a massive chunk out of it, and he sort of thick edges it out to Will Jacks at like a forward point, and it's another wicket for England, but it was just starting to go Sri Lanka's way. They were just taking a bit of ascendancy, but England throwing some punches back. Liam Dawson, Mr. Dependable, particularly on this sort of surface. He's dependable with the bat. Now he's got one in the column of the wickets with his bowling.
Yeah, 6 dot balls from the 8 that he has bowled so far. One of the other ones went for 6. Picked up a wicket, and it was an important one as well, because if Nissanka sticks around for 2 or 3 more overs, the rate he can score and has scored, then that target would have reduced accordingly. So England still battling away. 34 for 2 Sri Lanka. The target, remember, here on TalkSport 2 and the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel is 129. And the new batter, Pavan Ratnayake, who batted well in the second T20, hit a century in the third ODI, uses his feet really well to the spinners, gets down the track and just pushes this to mid-wicket, through mid-wicket, and will just stay at the non-striker's end. So gets off the mark, first ball, and that brings Kusal Mendis back on strike. So both openers have gone. And Sri Lanka don't bat as far down the order as England do. Leonarge and Wellalage, they do bat. They've got some spinning all-rounders, but not as strong. Mendis this time will take a single. Just punching that really through squarish mid-wicket. And just seeing a replay of the dismissal, and you can just see the ball bursting out the pitch, or the pitch bursting as the ball pitches. So not an easy pitch this. Oh, stepping away from the wicket and exposing all 3 stumps. Pavan Ratnayake, and he'll feel disappointed that he couldn't thread this ball past a backward point. Went straight to the fielder. No run.
Yep, starting your innings is not going to be easy.
This is quite full from Dawson. On leg stump, and Ratnayake pushes this through mid-wicket. End of the over, single scored, 9 runs coming from it, and a wicket. Sri Lanka 37 for 2, 1 over left of the power play. They need 129 to win this match here at Kandy.
Yep, this next over is a crucial one in the bigger picture of the game. You just feel if England get another wicket, that puts a real dent in the batting prowess of Sri Lanka. But if Sri Lanka can have a boundary, maybe 2, and just get that into 42, 45, all of a sudden they'll feel a bit more confident about job done in that power play. They would have forgone a couple of wickets to get ahead of the rate, to get into that position, to then allow a Mendis to dominate proceedings and rotate strike and knock England around. But a wicket this over, and England have turned to Sam Curran, his left-arm seamers, for their last over of the power play.
Well, he bowled the first out over of the power play in the first 2 T20s, and this first ball is on a length on off stump, and the batter, Ratnayake, can't beat Jacob Bethel, a backward point. 72 miles an hour, that delivery from Sam Curran. He was expensive on occasion. Actually picked up a hat-trick. The first T20, his first 2 overs went for 35. and then he took a hat-trick, which...
Just got that knack, hasn't he?
He just doesn't stop, does he? He'll always back himself. Cut away, all just over short third and down to the boundary for 4. It's actually a good shot from Ratnayake. Fielder put in the dive, but just a bit too much on it. And Sri Lanka move along, 41 for 2.
Yeah, Sam Curran operating around the wicket, so his left arm going into the stumps, trying to cramp the batter. But Ratnayake holds his line and then absolutely on contact, he just falls back on it to get it up and over short third. And it flies off, and it's a cutter, it's a bit of a slower ball from Sam Curran, but it's that falling back off the shot on contact that generates the power, generates the outcome of the boundary.
A little conversation with the umpire about the ball. What's going on here, Bat? Surely they're not trying to change it.
No, there's definitely a little bit...
he did injure his finger fielding, Sam.
And he's got white tape on, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I wonder if it's the umpire that said take the tape off, or the batter.
Possibly the batter's just saying, hang on a second, you've got to take that white tape off because it's...
The one thing we know it's not going to be the same effect as when somebody made Curtly Ambrose, I think it might have been Dean Jones, take his wristbands off and he bowled the speed of light and bowled them out in like 3 minutes after, didn't he?
Very wide of the crease here, and this is hit to cover. No real timing from Ratnayake. He remains 6 not out. Remember, Curtly Ambrose, Steve Waugh going at loggerheads in one match. That really did threaten to spill over into something quite nasty. Yeah, I think I would have just allowed Curtly just to do what he wants to do, right? Here's Curran again. Played very late by Ratnayake, down to Jacob Bethel on the boundary. At wide third for a single. Ratnayake moves to 7. Sri Lanka 42 for 2. 2 balls left to the power play.
Yep, Sam Curran almost trying to employ a similar tactic to a left-arm spinner. He's coming around the wicket with the angle, trying to get everything in towards the stumps with a change of pace. Either off cutters, and on this occasion it's back of the hand. Just to get the batter to answer different questions from angle and from changes of pace.
We haven't seen the moon ball yet. Here he is again, Curran, and Kusal Mendes, who looks like he's got all the time in the world and certainly doesn't appear like a man who feels he needs to put the foot on the accelerator for the power play. Just punches this out to cover. It's fielded. 5 runs from Sam Curran's over. 1 ball remaining of the over and the power play, with Kusal Mendes playing in his 100th T20 for Sri Lanka. 12 not out. And just ride the bouncer touch and steer this through. There's a chase on from Jacob Bethel at deep backward point. Goes past the fielder at short third and races away to the boundary. Cultured shot, cultured player. Sri Lanka 46 for 2 at the end of the power play.
Yeah, just a tiny bit of width on offer, and that's all Mendes needs. He doesn't, quite often he's cutting the ball off stump, so as soon as you're just outside that, it's all the invitation he requires, and he guides it into the gap. Curran has a man out on a wide, deep point stroke third angle. It's not quite as fine as the ball went there, and Mendes will be looking at the score now, just thinking, I'm just going to bat through the innings. I'll pick up my boundaries as and when, and somebody else can come in and play a little cameo for a while, and I'll see this innings through. But with all that said, for me, you've got the best leg spinner, probably the best spinner in the world, particularly in these conditions, about to come on, which is going to be no mean feat.
Adil Rashid then. What kind of difference can he make? First ball, down the track comes Ratnayake, and this is just pushed up to long off, where it's fielded by Will Jacks. Wasn't used in the power play today as a bowler.
bit surprised about that, aren't you? I suppose it would be a matchup thing. I think they'll be looking at the right-handers saying, no, let's go the left arm of Dawson. And did a great job, 1 for 10.
This is a big turning leg break from Adil Rashid that draws a smile from batter Mendes as well as the umpire standing behind the wicket, because it's actually quite short but then turns so much Mendes can't get anywhere near it. It's not called wide there. Oh, it's an absolute beaut. Draws Mendes forward, forcing shot, beats the outside edge. On another day, that takes the edge.
This is why he's the best for me. His change of pace, his change of loop, his change of angles are quite magnificent, and that's not even with having the variation of spin that he possesses.
This time, again, turning away from Mendes, but not as much as that first ball, which actually should have been called a wide, shouldn't it? Or the second ball, rather.
You can't penalise somebody for spinning it a metre. It pitched pretty much, well, within the red line that we see.
Not
and
that
spun
one,
to
the
the wide line. You can't penalise somebody for making it deviate a metre.
Oh, that's well played by Ratnayaka. Really compact shot. He's getting down on one knee and he's on the sweep, but he's actually hitting that through mid-wicket. It's not going square, and he's really connected sweetly. It's a good shot for one. Sri Lanka 49 for 2, and that's really all they need from here. See off Rashid. If they can keep wickets in hand, they should. They will fill. All in this target. Again, nicely played by Kusal Mendes, using the crease, playing late, and it's fielded. That short third fielder for a single. 50 up for Sri Lanka at 7 overs in. Rashid's first over's gone for 4. Sri Lanka 50 for 2.
Yeah, it just feels like at the start of a partnership that's building. Ratnayaka, wonderful use of feet so far in his 9 balls. He's not hit a boundary, he's not done anything spectacular, but he's got down the wicket, he's got deep in the crease, he's played like a on the ground lap slog, married up with Kusal Mendes. If you are not at the stumps at that man, he can cut you like your toenails when you go home tonight. He's ridiculous on that back foot sort of point round to third area. It's a good combination. They're changing up the way of rotating strike, they're changing up the way of scoring runs, and they're making England bowlers think. The good thing is it's not to the point where this partnership has grown to make it so hard for England.
Jacob Ethel's going to have a bowls. The slow left arm bowling round the wicket to Kusal Mendes, I think. And it's pushed out through cover for a single. Mendes moves to 19. Andrew McKenna of this parish messages me, that ball from Rashid might be the biggest spinning ball I've ever seen! Exclamation mark. That was ridiculous. You obviously never watched you bowl, Max. Here's Bethel again. This is punched to extra cover, no run.
Tell him to text Mike Gattin and see what he thinks to that answer.
Here's Bethel. This is full on the pads and clipped square of the wicket. Ratnayaka wants to come through for a second, sent back by Mendes. Ratnayaka was involved in a run out with Leonardo in that third ODI. And it wasn't actually his fault. Leonardo wasn't happy. Didn't want to be involved in another one, especially not with the guy that's playing in his 100th T20. He's impressed, says Ratnayaka. It's Mendes at the crease though, just propping forward, and this pops up to the leg side for another single. 53 for 2. How do you assess Jacob Bethel as a bowler? Spoke a little bit about him batting. He wasn't really at the crease for very long. Scored just 3.
He's a work in progress, isn't he? He's got plenty to work with, but his remedial level, so the amount of balls he's bowled, the amount of overs he's bowled, is just so low.
This is a touch straighter, bounces more, and again Ratnayaka is really, really productive. He loves getting down the track, and he's always seeking to push that second run, but it's not available there. Sri Lanka move on. 54 for 2. At this stage, England were 48 for 5, and we don't win too many games of T20 cricket. when you're 48 for 5 or 60 for 6, which England also were. Touch flat at, and this is cut to backward point where it's fielded by Ben Duckett. And that is the end of over number 8. Sri Lanka 54 for 2. Just needs to play more. Is he going to play that much though? He's going to go to the IPL, and then we'll see. He'll be, of course, batting at 3 for England for the tests in June. And then it'll be what happens then? White ball will be playing in that against India. 100 in August.
Yeah, it just needs to find a way, like Shoaib Bashir's moved counties to try and get more game time, to get more bowling. Jeetan Patel is big on the spinners, trying to get some overs in them, like anybody that's been a spinner and understood that it's getting out there, it's bowling overs, it's getting the volume. Here's Ratnayake. Flamboyant flick there. He takes a ball around 4th, 5th stump, just places it through mid-wicket for another single. I like this guy. I like this guy a lot, Ratnayake. Before we get your comments on Ratnayake, let's head over to Sri Lanka. Steve Harmison and Roshan Abhisinghe.
Thank you, John. It's a very interesting battle that's developing here. Adil Rashid versus the 2 Sri Lankan batters. Rashid is weaving his magic, comes in, bowls, and down the track comes Ratnayake. Hits it along the ground to long off for a single. I think the Sri Lankan approach is correct here, Hami, because they're not taking any chances, they're not looking for boundaries, but they're milking Rashid with singles.
Yeah, and that's the key importance here. You got Pethal who bowls quickly at the other end, gets through his overs quickly. They can build pressure, but keep taking singles.
That's a poor delivery. That's 4. That is not a good delivery, and Adil Rashid knows it. It was slow, it was a drag down. There was a big gap on the leg side, and Kusal Mendis pounced on it, and it was a good result from a Sri Lankan point of view.
If you keep taking singles and keep putting pressure on Adil Rashid, all of a sudden, if you do get something to score off, then you're in a more positive frame of mind to try and score, and he did that perfectly.
And that time slower again, touch shorter but better line, because it's got a lot of protection down on the boundary. A single. They've got 8 runs in this over so far, which is a good result against someone that has tormented you right throughout the series. Rashid comes in, bowls to Ratna, bowled him. That's, I think, the first mistake he made. He played it off the back foot, and I thought he was a bit late. It spun and it looked the wrong end.
It was the wrong end, and it's probably the first time that Ratnayake hasn't picked Adil Rashid. We've seen him, the 2 wrong ends I think Rashid's bowled so far to Ratnayake. He swept, so he's picking it out of the hand. 2 or 3 deliveries, he's come out of the crease. So if you're coming out of the crease and you're coming down the wicket to Adil Rashid on a turn and pitch, you know you're comfortable of picking the ball out of the hand. And there, probably the first time, there was a lot of disturbance of the surface, and it was sharp turn back through the gate. It was a brilliant execution of the wrong in from Rashid, and a nice little partnership for Sri Lanka comes to an end, and one I think England desperately needed that wicket.
62 for 3 at the end of 9 overs. A quick reminder, you're on TalkSport 2 and watching us on the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel as Kamidu Mendis comes out. His inclusion is very interesting. Was out of the side initially, brought back in place of Dhananjay De Silva into the squad, and now with Charita Asalanka rested, they sent him, or at least included him in the side. So 62 for 3. This game is not over by any means. It's nicely balanced, and I can tell you it could go either way, because a wicket or 2 here for England, Sri Lanka will be in serious trouble. And on the other hand, what Sri Lanka needs is maybe 5-6 runs and over from here in a partnership. As here comes Will Jacks, bowls to Kusal Mendis. He's out, caught a short fine leg. Back-to-back wickets, both set batters gone. England couldn't have expected a better situation to be in. You talk of little faces, and these 2 deliveries have just turned the game on its head as far as I'm concerned, and very much in England's favour.
Just when Sri Lanka were taking control of this game after the power play, Rashid bowled a googly and a beauty to get rid of Rathnayaka. And Kusal Mendes, he's played 100 T20 internationals. Very, very experienced batter. And all of a sudden, first ball to Will Jacks. Tall release point, driving into the surface. You know it's going to bounce. If it's going to bounce for anybody, it's going to be Will Jacks. And he's gone to the sweep shot. And all of a sudden now, two new batters at the crease. Sri Lanka are in a bit of trouble here. 62 for 4.
Well, this is perfect, isn't it, for England? This is exactly what they wanted. Now, they can apply pressure. They can get some cheap overs from one end. Maybe use Jacks in an attacking style, because he's, as you said, tall, good release, gets a bit of bounce. Rashid at the other end, game on.
Yeah, Rashid at one end, and then you can slip a few in from Jackson and possibly Bethel, and Rashid with Dawson to attack from one end and quickly get through some overs, for hoping for some little damage, and all of a sudden push that run rate from the run rate is 6.7 at this moment in time. If they can get it up to 7.5, 8. The surface is a little bit similar, I think, Roshan, to the first pitch we played 50 over cricket at Colombo, where as the game got on, the last 25 overs of the match, it got really, really difficult to hit the big shot. So Sri Lanka can't afford this run rate to go too much higher than 7.5 and 8, because then you are boundary every over, and making sure that there's no dot balls. England putting pressure on them. I think England, they got the welcome wicket of Rathnayaka, and I think the Kusal Mendes one, in international terms, a very experienced T20 player. I think that's a bonus wicket for me for England.
And I think Sri Lanka needed him to bat. When Rathnayaka got out, they needed him. Needed him to bat long, bat deep. Well, just to make sure that there is some stability in the batting order, or in the Sri Lankan camp. So two new batters haven't faced a ball yet. This is perfect for England. Let's see how they set about. Will they attack, or will they kind of wait for the pitch or the surface to try and do what they expect them to do? We're getting a replay of what Kusal Mendes tried to do. It got stuck in the pitch, bounced a bit, and eventually a very simple catch to the man at short fine leg. The field hasn't changed at all. With another right-hander, Janit Lianage. Sri Lanka 62 for 4. Jacks comes in, Lianage. Gets on the back foot, plays off the pitch. That's dangerous stuff. Really played it off the pitch that time.
I'm disappointed in Kusal Mendes. Again, I've just watched the replay of it, and I'm looking at his reaction when the ball's bounced. This is first ball to Will Jacks, who's 6'5".
Well, Lianage this time attempts to sweep. Finds the man at short fine leg, but at least he seemed to be looking to play it along the ground, and the length was right to play that sweep. So the fans, particularly England fans, are very, very vocal as here comes Jacks. Goes, and Lianage gets a wide down the leg side, misses out on that sweep. Well, Jacks doesn't seem to be happy with it, but I think that was a wide.
Yeah, I think it's a wide. I think Will Jacks is saying it's gone over the top of his bat and it's turned, but unfortunately that is, when he sees that again, he'll admit that was a wide.
Jacks comes in and Lianage is off the mark. Well, Sri Lanka will have to look to play like that. It's not a surface that you can trust yourself to play the big hit. Particularly again the spinners, they'll have to milk it, they'll have to be creative as a batting unit.
Yeah, creative. I think Harry's going to have to be creative and go at slip here. Yes, he's going to go into slip. I think he's got to seize this moment. Two batters, hadn't faced the ball after the drinks break. Left-hander in. I think it's important. England, even with Will Jacks, still try and strike, still try and be aggressive to try and take wickets.
Here comes Jacks, bowls to Mendes now. He gets turned and bounce. And completely beats Kamidu Mendes.
It's a beautiful delivery. I mean, Will Jacks, he played in Australia.
And this time he gets off the mark with a single at the halfway stage. Sri Lanka are 65 for 4. Quick reminder, you're on TalkSport 2 and TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel.
3 runs off Will Jacks' over. He frontline spin bowler in the Ashes. I'm not sure he's a frontline spin bowler yet, but I think there's definitely something to develop and work with. His best ball, Will Jacks' best ball, is a very, very good delivery. I think the inconsistency he has, possibly because he doesn't bowl enough in, to give him the volume of overs that a spin bowler needs to get repetition, to get used to the action and to be fully comfortable like a frontline spinner that Adil Rashid is. I think if Jacks had the volume of a frontline spin bowler bowling overs, I think he would improve no end. We've seen there the bounce that he gets when he bowls his best ball, Will Jacks. It is a very, very, very good delivery.
Rashid into his 3rd over. From over the wicket to the left-hander, coming to Mendes. Tosses it up, and Mendes again just gets across his stumps. That was bowled slower from Rashid. Coming to Mendes, looking to work it away on the onside. And there is no run, so getting a replay of Pawan Ratnayaka being bowled as here comes Rashid bowls, and Mendes looks to sweep and sweeps it well, and Lookwood gets behind it, picks it up, only a single. So that time it went off the middle of the bat, and it confirms what you said and what I also thought, that he never read him off the hand.
No, he didn't read it. It was coming off the pitch. He's trying to play it through mid-wicket, but I think he's trying to play it through wicket off the surface and not actually reading the googly from the hand was Ratnayaka, and that's when the trouble really started. Mendes gets out the very first ball of the next over, and England now 66 for 4 can put a bit of pressure on with a slip in for Rashid.
Comes in and bowls to Lianage, who sweeps behind square leg, might get a boundary, and he does. That's a welcome boundary. It's been a long time coming for Sri Lanka, but in a way he just releases the pressure a little bit. Lianage.
Yeah, good shot, very well executed, because he's not trying to hit this too hard. It's a sweep shot, trying to keep it down, fine leg inside the circle, deep square leg on the boundary, and he's trying to pierce behind square past Liam Dawson at short fine leg, and he's got it perfect.
Rashid bowls and goes for the sweep again, this time in front of square. The fielder picks it up, only a single. The previous one was behind square leg, this was to mid-wicket. So that was Sam Curran. Another single. So they've got 6 of the first 4 balls.
That one there was a little bit slower, a little bit more outside off stump. So Lianage could just wait that split second longer and then try and play the sweep shot in front of square. Again, well executed.
Sweeps again. This is coming to Mendes. That time on the leg stump from Rashid. Touch fuller. Allows the batter to play that sweep, execute it well. Another single. Just seeing the average turn so far in the 3 games. It's been 2.3 degrees in the first game, 2.9 in the second, though the batters enjoyed it. And in this 3.3, that's a lot. As here comes Rashid bowls, and Lianage just nudges it on the onside, and he'll get a single. He'll be happy with that. So 73 for 4 with 8 runs coming off that over at the end of 11. It is TalkSport 2 and TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel.
Good over from Sri Lanka. Never really let Adil Rashid settle there. Wasn't one of his better overs. Didn't quite get the lines and the lengths that he normally gets right. Speeds. He's trying to take pace off the ball, but he either got a little bit down leg side or a little bit too much down on the offside, and given the Sri Lanka batters a chance to work it, whether it was a sweep shot or to play in front of square. So it wasn't one of Rashid's best overs. He's bowled 3 now, 1 for 20. Sense this is a big fears for Sri Lanka and also for Harry Brook. What does he do with Adil Rashid? Does he bowl him out and try and get that wicket, put a little bit more pressure on Sri Lanka, or does he save Adil Rashid for possibly getting a wicket or 2 from somebody else and then bring him back on maybe 6 down to utilise that last over of attacking spin that he's got? He's got Dawson left with a few overs. Jax has only bowled one. Bethel's bowled an over. Curran's got overs to spare. I can see him bowling again. Luke Wood probably will bowl at the death. I don't see Jamie Overton bowling again in this contest. So there are options for Harry Brook, but he's got one over left from his number one bowler, and how he uses that could be key.
Will Jacks comes in, bowls, and Liam again wants a single straight to the man at short fine leg. So very quickly, my last over of commentary in this series. It was wonderful. It was an honor to be part of Talk Sport. Great to sit next to an English legend, Steve Harmison, as Jacks bowls, and this is swept down to deep mid-wicket. Thoroughly enjoyed working with Talk Sport. Enjoyed the cricket. We've seen some blinders, some outstanding innings played by particularly Harry Brook. So it was fun. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you to Talk Sport. Thank you to Jonathan Norman, and thank you to everyone else.
It's been great to have you, Roshan. I'm sure all the listeners back in England have enjoyed your commentary. It's been a great contest, a fantastic challenge in a beautiful, beautiful country. Sorry, Bats.
This is swung away on the onside. It's going down to deep mid-wicket. Good effort. Very, very good effort. They'll come back for two.
When I say sorry, Gareth Batty, I mean that to Alex Tudor, to Darren Goff, and to Jared Kimber, John Norman, Andrew McKenna, who have all been back in London in the freezing cold while it's been beautiful over here. And I say that with all due respect and such a great big smile on my face.
Here comes Jackson bowls, and that's another single, and it is 77 for 4. So my job is done as far as this series is concerned. Let's hope someday, somewhere. So it's time now to join Jonathan Norman.
Yeah, big thanks from all of us in chilly England to Roshan. It's been great to have you back on. And I'm just having a look. It's 5 degrees in Ashington. So that's what awaits Steve Harmison when he makes his way back in a couple of days. Well, he's come back tomorrow. It'll take a day to get back. Bit of a stopover in Dubai. Pushed to mid-wicket. Liam Argay and Kamindu with a job to do. 52 needed from 49 deliveries. 4 balls from this Will Jacks over. He picked up a wicket on the reverse, and this is straight to is that Dawson? At short third, who fields, fires the ball back. Butler takes a stump out. It's all very explosive and exciting, but it's a dot ball, and that's another good over for England. Sri Lanka, those 2 quick wickets just being stopped in their tracks, and this pitch has made batting look difficult pretty much from ball 1 of the first innings. Sam Curran aside, nobody has looked at that assured. Saying that, it was a slight surprise that Mendes and Ratnayaka rather, were dismissed. 62 for 2 became 62 for 4, and since then the game has closed. So it's a close affair. It's been a close series. Sri Lanka need 129 at the 12 over stage. 77 for 4.
Yeah, and England gone back to the tried and tested Liam Dawson. The beauty of Liam Dawson coming on now is he will take his wickets by just squeezing the life out of Sri Lanka. They're going to have to work so hard for a single, which would just take the game deeper, which puts it even more in England's favour.
It's Kamindu facing, and he pulls powerfully out to Tom Banton. Doesn't feel cleanly. The ball slaps him on the chest and rebounds away, but doesn't mean that the batters can cross for a second. So 1 run from the first ball. And Liam Argay just gets himself in position. Left-hand, right-hand combination down the track. And at the last minute decides to smother the spin rather than try and rotate the strike. So another dot ball.
It's been the story of the evening from the spinners that have been the most productive. They've just been very difficult to knock for singles.
Down the track again, and this is lofted up and over the bowler, and 1 bounce 4. Oh, that was really well played by Liam Argay. Perhaps was eyeing up a similar shot to the ball before, but decided the length wasn't quite right. This time though, went through with it. he'll take 4. 82 for 4. 47 needed from 45.
Yeah, quick feet, runs the line of the ball. So Dawson aiming at off stump there, but runs the line of the ball to keep offside and leg side in check. So he hits the ball straight at the sight screen.
Almost scoops it over the bowler. This time he gets down on the sweep, and he's on the ball too soon. Actually, the ball wraps the gloves, exposes the stumps on the leg side. Fielded at the short 45, and comes through for another run. Straight hit, that boundary. No fielder out there. That brings Kamindu on. Down the track, goes aerial. Long on's interesting. Goes all the way. 6 runs from the bat, 2 boundaries from the over, and Dawson has yielded 12 runs from 5 deliveries. Sri Lanka suddenly are within sight. 40 needed from 43, 6 wickets in hand. How quickly this game changes, bats.
Yeah, Dawes coming around the wicket to the left-hander. And Kamindu, actually, that's working in his favour because Dawson is kind of predictable trying to bring the stumps in play. But with this, he skips down the wicket knowing that he's not going to do him on the outside edge and whacks it into long on. Single through mid-wicket. Fielder comes in. And that's the end of a productive over for Sri Lanka. Kamindu 14 from 10. Leonage going at a runnable 13. Sri Lanka need 39 from 42 balls to win this third T20. They're 90 for 4, chasing 129. Yeah, England need to do something. They need to either get a maiden or a 2 or 3 off and over, a wicket. It's got to be something that is going to put some pressure on this partnership because 14 and 13 respectively each. Just starting to grow, and it's becoming a dangerous growth from an England point of view. It's becoming a very positive one from a Sri Lankan point of view.
Jack's continuing. Oh, wrapped on the pad. Kamindu's given out leg before. Gareth Batty gives that out immediately. It looked good to my eyes. Kamindu is going to review, but he's been hit in front. Possibly. Height might come to his aid, but I think this is a review born from hope rather than expectation.
I have
he reviewed it pretty quickly, didn't he, John Sweet?
Can we start with front on, please?
You wonder if he's got an inside nick on this, but otherwise it's just, it's in front of them all.
Appears to be pad first. Can you give me the outrage to confirm any batting? Yeah, outrage coming up. Gap between bat and ball. I'm satisfied. No bat involved. We can move on to ball tracking.
He's been hit above the knee roll in the back leg. His foot not off the floor,
original
but raised.
decision out. Pitching
Hit
in line.
in
Impact
line
in
of
line.
off stump.
Wickets hitting. Ravi, you can stay with your original decision. Stand by.
Well, it's not hitting the
Your on
bails.
screen make the signal.
It's slapping the stump. And Will Jacks has picked up his second wicket. He's gone for just 7. Sri Lanka take a review as well. And Kamindu Mendes' innings comes to an end for 14. 90 for 5 then, Sri Lanka, and England still in this.
Yeah, right on cue. Right on cue. In between overs, I was suggesting that England needed to strike now, whether it be with a wicket or an over that goes for very few, just to try and put something back on Sri Lanka. You just felt like that partnership was growing. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. Will Jacks around the wicket to the left-hander. Rather than this ball challenging the outside edge, it runs on beautifully. And with that high release point he's got, it's possibly just past the perpendicular. So the rotation, the shape of the ball runs it back into the pads. And it's a poor review for me. It just looked out for all money. As soon as he hit him on the pad, it looked as though he's in front of them all. And the way he was batting, he was getting in front of his stumps to try and manipulate the gap at mid-wicket to the off-spin of Jacks. Now you really do feel it's game on.
Yeah, possibly it was a non-striker who led to that review being taken. Leonardo suggesting to Kamindu that he might go upstairs. 2 reviews, of course. The new batter, Welalage, just coming forward, left-handed, the ball turning a fraction away from the bat. The dismissal of Kamindu. And the ball didn't turn, just went straight on. But the decision to hold Jacks back certainly paying off. So that's one for the skipper. Slip in place now for Welalage. And this is quite full on the pads. And push back to the bowler. 39 needed for Sri Lanka to win the game. They've got 39 balls to get those runs in, so I'm sure you can do the maths. 6 and over from here. Sri Lanka 90 for 5 as Jackson in again. He's struck on the pad, but this is going down the leg side, so I don't think England are going to review this not-out call.
It's good from England though. There's a bit of theatre going on now. There's a bit more bubble around the bat. Josh Butler's getting involved. The captain Brooke standing at slip. Just the odd little word, the odd bit of theatre, just trying to build it on the Sri Lankans. So it's not just dealing with the ball that's coming, there's a bit of theatre around.
Yeah, England certainly a series in the bag, taking this very seriously as Welalage gets off the mark with a run to point. 91 for 5, 1 ball left of the 14th. Let's have a look at the bowlers remaining. Oh, I tell you what, I gave that one up as a fanciful appeal from England, but if they'd reviewed it, it would have been overturned. I thought that the ball was hitting the pads much further towards the leg stump than it actually was. On the reverse is Leonardo, and it's fielded at backward point by Ben Duckett, who couldn't take advantage of a back spasm that led to Phil Salt missing out today. He was out for a duck, so there'll be some interesting team selections for that first T20 World Cup game that England play this weekend. Does Ben Duckett retain his place? Phil Salt almost certainly comes back into the side. There's Tom Banton, who was out for 4 today. And of course, player of the match in the second T20 for an unbeaten 50 that saw England home. Jofra Archer almost certainly will come back. Sri Lanka today though, and they've got a few ponderables themselves. 91 for 5, 6 overs remaining in this innings and the series. That target is 129. And it's Jacob Bethel, first ball on the hit of Welalage. Can't get bat on the ball, it kind of loops up to the fielder at short fine, and the 2 cross for a leg by. He didn't seem to get too excited by that LBW shout either, Bats.
It looked as though it was just sliding for me. Had it have been 3 or 4 overs down, you obviously go for it and you risk it, but I felt at this stage of the game I think it was right not to review it.
Here's Bethel, cut away straight to Luke Wood. One of 2 changes for England tonight. He's stationed at backward point, and Leonardo will be a little frustrated there. No one behind him, with a race to the boundary, very wide, and no timing from Leonardo, who's going to take 1 to deep extra cover, and he'll come back for 2. Manages to get the ball past Brooke at extra cover, and that allowed for the second run. So 35 needed from 33. Sri Lanka 94 for 5.
Yep, Sri Lanka just keep ticking along, keep taking the runs. No different to when England were batting, you know. Try and turn the singles into 2s, so on and so forth. Take it deep.
On the reverse again is Leonardo, and the fielder collects at backward point, but doesn't collect cleanly, and the batters would have been home anyway. Another run, 95 for 5.
I do think these sorts of games where the bowlers are in it are almost more exciting, the more tense. Every clip that we get of somebody sat in the crowd, they're biting their nails if it's a Sri Lankan fan, or they're singing if it's an England fan. The crash bang wallop and getting 200 every time is not always the best game.
Yeah, there was an ODI. You were part of the commentary team for the first ODI. The second one, Harry Brook and Joe Root, very critical of the pitch. Actually, it led to a really engrossing game of cricket. You don't want to see it every single time, but you do want to see difference. As that Walalage comes forward and sets off really quickly. There's a little bit of confusion between himself and Leonage about whether the run is on. But in the end, the two cross, and it's another run. Leonage was involved in that run out with Ratnayaka in the third ODI. Again, down the track, using his feet well this time, Leonage. You just take a single to mid-wicket. 33 needed, or rather 32 needed now from 30 balls.
Yeah, this is the sort of period in the game. 5 overs left. Both sides are kind of playing the chess game. They're just trying to manoeuvre. England definitely think if they can get a wicket now, that makes it very difficult for Sri Lanka, because on a surface like this there has to be an element of risk when you're looking to score on this pitch. It's not just a question of it's a good wicket, you can hit through the line and your runs are going to come. You have to do all the running, you've got to do all the work from a batter. So it just feels like they want to take it from a Sri Lankan point of view. They want to get to that last over and need 7, 8, take the game deep. England want to finish it now.
On the sweep, it's gone aerial and straight to Jacob Bethel. Will Jacks strikes again. He picks up his third wicket. Leonage has holed out for 17. And Sri Lanka now 97 for 6. And the fans can't believe it.
Yeah, what they thought was a percentage option, a sweep to Will Jacks, is around the wicket to the right-hander. He's trying to bring the stumps into play, hence why he's not over the wicket with this exaggerated spin on this surface. And the angle he bowled, it was hitting the top of middle, and it's just a lap slog straight to Bethel, the deep mid-wicket. He's not had to move, just hit it straight to him. Did get the feeling he's trying to hit it square, he's trying to get it into that sort of in front of square leg, that square leg area, but the angle that Will Jacks has presented from around the wicket makes it almost impossible. It makes it a lot harder to get there, and he basically hits it straight at the man. I mean, Will Jacks kind of going under the radar here, 3 for 8 off 3.1. It's wonderful figures.
Yeah, incredible stuff for Will Jacks. He picked up 1 for 24 from his 4 overs in the second T20 and bowled really well. Again, maybe this is why England stick him so far down the order. He's an out-and-out bowler. His batting is just a bonus. I mean, he's batted. What positions has Will Jacks batted for Surrey in 4-day cricket over the years?
When I first took over, I batted him at 7 or 8, I think, just to get him in the team.
Jacks again, 3 for 8. This was his 4th and final over. And Shanaka, the Sri Lankan skipper, probably can't believe he's been called out to bat. I would have thought this would be a more straightforward run chase for his side, but it's proved to be anything but. Drags this ball, does Shanaka, and it's misfielded actually by Bethel, and that almost allows for a second run. The throw from the deep isn't great. Butler can't field it, but backing up, so it's just a single. 31 needed from 27. I won't surprise anyone to hear that this is Will Jacks' best figures in international T20 cricket. Down the track comes Walalage and just opens the face of the batter touch on the drive. There's a chase from Jacob Bethel at deep point to run round and gather. He does do on the dive, and 100 up for Sri Lanka. 100 for 6, 2 runs added. Well, Alage moves to 4. 29 needed from 26. 2 balls left to Will Jack's 4th over. He's picked up 3 for 11. Shapes to come down the track as well, Alage, but in the end just stays where he is. Again, there's a chase for Bethel. And he moves from deep backward point across the boundary, but it's another couple of runs. 5 runs coming from this Will Jacks over. He's picked up a wicket. 102 for 6 here on TalkSport 2 and the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel. 27 needed from 25. Jacks again. Alage will pick out. He's having a little battle with Jacob Bethel. Well, Alage single to end the over. Another good one for England. 6 runs coming from it. A wicket. Will Jacks ends with figures of 3 for 14. Sri Lanka need 26 and 24. Where's your money, Bats?
I think it's still just with England. It's getting closer and closer, and I think the deeper it gets, you tend to feel, in the modern days, that the batting side seem to get the bookies' odds. I'm always on the side of the bowling team, and Will Jacks has shown possibly why on this instance. 3 for 14 in 4. Economy rate at 3.5 is quite incredible. 14 dots out of the 24 balls he's bowled. I just think that is loaded in England's favour. We still have 2 overs left of Rashid, I think. Dawson's still got an over. We've got plenty of ammunition from an England point of view to see this home. It was always going to be a tight finish. It was always going to be a tight game. I think England are a wicket away.
Rashid to be bowled out. Draws Alage forward, who just opens a face at the back. Tries to guide the ball through backward point and short third, but doesn't succeed. So dot ball to start Rashid's 4th and final over. He's picked up a wicket and gone for 20. Just have a look at the bowling card, see who will bowl those last overs as he props forward as well. Alage steers this towards the leg side for a run. 25 needed from 22 deliveries. So Jacks has been bowled out. This will be Rashid's final over. Liam Dawson's still got 1, and then you've got to get 2 away. Luke Wood, Jamie Overton, Sam Curran and Jacob Bethel. Where are you looking?
Sam will definitely bowl one of those and change pace up with cross seam and use the angle of the left arm. I'd be amazed if Dawson doesn't bowl out, and then you got 1 to find, which then for me that's going to be their last over. I get my...
This is very full, and pitching on leg, turning back across the right hand is Shanaka, who misses on the sweep.
Yeah, I'd get my premier bowlers, hence why Rashid's bowling this one. Get me a wicket this over Adil, which then makes it easier to get my ammunition in line. I'm basically saying get a wicket here, get a wicket, take it deep.
Slip in place, and again down on the sweep is Shanaka. He's going to pick up a run. Deep backwards square.
Yeah, so I'm going again Dawson, and then I'm making my decision after that. If I haven't taken a wicket, my decision is, do I think I can defend 10 off the last over and it's Sam Curran, or do I want to get the wicket before the last over and get my best ammunition into the game before it's too late?
All of those ponderables are going through Harry Brooks' mind at the moment, or maybe he's already decided. On the pads, clipped away. Well, Alage runs a first one quickly, but it's just a single. 3 runs coming from this Rashid over. 1 ball remaining of his 4. 106 for 6. 23 needed from 19. Sri Lanka to win the game. It's very tense. Crowd has been in pretty good spirits throughout this series, but everybody's just watching the cricket now.
Yeah, do you wonder if that's Butler and Rashid just trying to turn up the volume on the tension by having a conversation? Should we be doing this? Should we be doing that? Adil's going back to his mark when this. He'll know exactly what he's going to do. Just draws it out a bit.
Final ball then, and again down on the sweep is Shanaka. Sam Curran running around on the boundary, and that's actually a well taken second run. So 2 runs to finish. Rashid's 1 for 25 from his 4, and Sri Lanka need 21 runs from 18 deliveries. England need 4 wickets, or just to prevent 20 of those 21 runs from being scored.
Yeah, it's still anybody's game really. You just want one player to put the hand up. The obvious thing is you need a Sri Lankan batter to hit 2 boundaries, and you would feel that that gets them over the line. But from an England point of view, you come on, don't go for a boundary and take a wicket, even if you go for 5 in the over, but one of the balls is a wicket, you just feel like that's going to tip it in the balance for your team. I think it's a fascinating last 3 overs.
I agree. I think one of the problems that these 2 batters have, Shanaka and Welalage, is that Tukshana, Chamira and Patarana do not bring with them to this Sri Lankan T20 side any great pedigree of ball hitting in terms of strike rate or average. So there is risk associated with any big shot. Oh, Welalage does go for a big shot, and he's got a thick outside edge on this drive. Rashid with the chase, but the ball wins, and that is 4 precious runs. The ball didn't go where Welalage intended. It doesn't matter. And that makes the equation a touch easier for Sri Lanka. 17 needed. 17 balls to get them in. It's Jacob Bethel bowling, by the way.
Yeah, I just wonder whether Bethel's trying to get it as full as he did. As it is, it gets squeezed out into a vacant third area where you can't protect. But actually driving it into the surface where it's been so difficult all night possibly gives you a better option from a bowling point of view.
Let's see where he goes here. Butler's just moved across. He's running round from behind the stumps, Butler. He's almost between wicket and first slip. He's aside the wicket. And Welalage's gone down on the sweep. I think he's got a bottom edge onto his boot. It's bounced up, and Butler has run around the stumps, around the batter, dived forward, taken the catch, and England feel they've got the wicket of Welalage here.
Ball and fair catch. I have checked the feet and it's a fair delivery. Can you give me the front on, please?
Yeah, Bethel going back to driving it in the surface. Welalaga's had a big sweep. For me, this is out. Josh Butler did great work. Seeing the ball whacked into his boot and flown up, and you can see him. It's gone around the batter. He's almost pushed him out of the way. Wonderful
you take it back, please?
The replay hasn't actually shown the connection, the ball
I want to see
onto the
ball
bat,
as well. Can you give
and where the ball goes. Because sometimes people get very excited, but the ball's actually hit the ground. No, it's hit the pad.
Yeah,
definitely hit
it's
the pad.
Coming from the pad.
Via the bat, that is. And this, wow, Josh Butler is an extraordinary catch.
Catch is clearly taken. I have a decision for the big screen.
I think we're going to see a big out flash up.
You can hear the England fans. Yep, he's got to go. Brilliant, brilliant work behind the stumps from a man who's represented England 403 times. He'll not take many better catches than that. It's almost like taking a catch on an assault course, isn't it? You have to get round past stumps and batter and dive forward. And the awareness was quite brilliant. At the end of that, Jacob Bethel has struck. Welalage goes for 9. Sri Lanka 112 for 7. And they need 17 runs. And they've got 16 balls to get them in.
Yeah, the actual catch itself from Josh Butler was the easy part. Firstly, he had to recognise the fact that it was hitting to his pad and then react. And for one of the fittest players on that field in an England shirt, if not the fittest, to have that presence of mind, to still have the speed, to still have the agility to get into a position to take a doddle of a catch is the impressive part from Josh Butler. And it's a game changer for me. That is now definitely advantage England.
Chamira is the new batter. He took a fifer early today for the first time in international T20 career. He could still end up being the player of the match. Is he going to be on the winning side or not? Pushed out to cover, no run. The problem here, Bats, is that Chimera could probably hit a few boundaries, but is he going to... So many of the batters have struggled to rotate the strike and push those singles. And if England could bowl a couple of dot balls... Oh, it's lofted up and straight to Harry Brook. An extra cover. Just stuck in the pitch. Chimera has got to drag himself off the field. Sri Lanka have lost their 8th wicket now. Bethel's picked up 2 in 3 balls. And England now really believe they can win this game.
Yep, driven into the pitch again, a big puff of dust. Chimera having like a nothing sort of drive, really. He's almost trying to push it into the gap. And on this surface all night, it's been difficult to rotate the strikers. John Norman just said, and it hits just underneath the stickers. Loops up to the captain, Brook, who made a great decision. It's turned out to be a great decision to get Bethel to bowl this over. Bethel's the one that's taken 2 wickets and really, really put a dint in the hopes of the Sri Lankan cricket team to get over the line tonight. 17 or 14 balls, and you feel like that should be game, set and match.
Yep, it does feel that way, but of course Sri Lanka do have one recognised batter at the crease. He's been stuck at the other end. Dasun Shanaka, I don't know if recognised batter is how he'd describe himself. He's an all-rounder, lots of experience, played over 100 T20s for Sri Lanka. And I suppose he'll just be saying to the new batter, to stay where you are and then let me have a go at the other end. Jacob Bethel was celebrating that wicket before the catch had been taken. It was that simple an opportunity for Brook. All smiles for England. Here is Bethel. Tikshana was a slip in place, and he'll take a single through mid-wicket. First ball. 16 needed from 13 balls now. Sri Lanka. England need 2 wickets or to restrict the scoring this side of 128.
Yeah, I think the modern players thinking it's 3 shots, 2 out the ground and a boundary 4, and you're home and hosed from a Sri Lanka point of view.
Sri Lanka look a little shell-shocked. Last ball of the over is a stumping. Shanaka has been drawn out of his crease trying to take his single, and the ballers spat past the outside edge. Butler's done the rest, and Bethel incredibly has taken 3 wickets in the over and ripped the lower order out of the Sri Lankan batting card. They're now 9 down and still 16 runs away from the win. What a brilliant delivery from Jacob Bethel.
Yeah, got mid-crease, drove the ball into the stumps, drove it into middle and leg. By the time the ball's pitched, it's just about off stump, but it big puff of dust and rips past the outside edge of Shanaka. Looked like he was just trying to knock it somewhere in the mid-wicket, mid-on region to get off strike, to have the last 12 balls at the other end. Absolutely no such luck. Rip past the outside edge and quick as a flash. No different to the catch he took a couple of balls earlier. Joss Butler had the bails off before he could even turn around to see where the ball had gone. Wonderful piece of bowling, wonderful piece of keeping. England 1 wicket to finish this game.
And it's not going to get any easier for Sri Lanka, because Liam Dawson is now going to come on and bowl. 1 for 23 from his 3 overs, and 2 tail-enders at the crease. Patarana and Tikshana, who bowled really well earlier today. Also Chimera. England 128 for 9 from their 20. In reply, 113 for 9 as Dawson. First ball. There's a mix-up. Could be a run out at the striker's end, but Dawson's too much ground to cover. And after a mix-up between Tikshan and Patrana, the two cross for a single. 114 for 9.
You can see the scrambled nature of the Sri Lankan team, because for the last 20 minutes there could have been about 4 run-outs. I just don't really know what has happened in this last, well, certainly the last over, but in this last period of sequence of overs. Sri Lanka have just had it taken away from them.
15 needed from 11. Dawson is in, and oh well, it's popped up to the right of the bowler, and Tikshana, as he's well within his right, has just stayed where he is, possibly moved towards the batter at the other end, and he's collided with Dawson, and I think if not for that collision, Dawson takes that catch.
Referee! He didn't just hold his ground, he legged him up. God blimey.
I thought you might have a different take. Oh, this could be it! No, the ball just dropped short of Luke Wood. There's another mix-up between the two batters. A leading edge from Patarana just dropped short. The two batters do manage to cross, and a single has been taken. 115 for 9 now, Sri Lanka.
Yeah, Dawson operating that straight line again, getting the Sri Lankans playing across the across the stumps. They keep obliging. It's just not falling to an England hand. Good effort from Wood. Backward point. It's short.
It's all going on out there. 14 needed from 9 deliveries. And it's Tikshana facing. Beaten past the outside edge. Starts to come down and stays where he is. Starts to follow the ball with the hands, then realises that's not what he needs to do. Dot ball. 14 still needed for Sri Lanka. 8 deliveries, 1 wicket remaining. Beaten again. Why not? Target mid-wicket. It's a good take by Butler behind the stumps. Close to the outside edge again, and you can just feel Tikshana's ticking. They need to hit the boundary now, and it's proving very, very difficult.
Yeah, left nothing to the imagination on that shot. Put the left leg out the way and had a mighty swing at that.
Last ball of Liam Dawson's over. He's been fantastic again. And he's in now. Strikes Tikshana on the pad. There's a shout for leg before, but that's going down leg. And it's a dot ball to finish the over. It looks very, very difficult. Nigh on impossible for Sri Lanka from here. 14 runs needed. Just 1 over to go. 2 tail-enders at the crease. But you never know.
You don't, and that's the beauty of these tight games, because you're a thick edge for a boundary, or you run up and bowl your first ball in the slot and they smack it out the ground. I think realistically all those are off the table. I think this is England's. I just don't see how. It's been a difficult night for the batters, let alone tail-enders. To ask tail-enders to hit 2 out the ground, I think is just a bridge too far.
Well, a bridge too far, and it's going to be the boy from Bridgetown, Jacob Bethel, who's going to bowl the final over. In now, and he has struck Patarana in front of the stumps, slap bang in front on the pads, and the umpire's finger's gone up. Patarana looks toast to me. We'll go up for the review, but if this decision sticks...
TV umpire to director, we got a player review for LBW, original given out. I have checked the feet and it's a fair delivery. Can you give me the front on, please?
Well, there's a few bowlers that are going to be toasting their best figures in T20 today. Shamira, Jax, Bethel. Oh, is that a thick inside edge?
He smashed it, yeah.
He's absolutely
appears to be
smashed it.
bat first. Can we confirm with the outrage, please?
Game continues, bats.
Yeah, outrage coming up. Yeah, can you freeze it there? There is a clear spike when the ball is next to the bat. Ravi, you need to change your decision. You're on screen, make the signal.
I mean, I don't think it's going to matter a great deal, but I think those two possibly could have run a single there. And of course, it's called dead ball after the decision is given. And I think that's always been a weird law that essentially I feel that ball should be bowled again, or you just let it run out and just see what happens.
Yeah. Allow the run and then you review,
and then you give your decision.
Yeah, the technology is meant to be there to stop the howlers, not as.
Yeah, and it's not even a technology thing, is it? Before technology, if you're given out, well, I suppose before technology, if you're given out, you're out.
Yeah, you're on your way back.
Here is Bethel, and this is pushed to the leg side, straight to the bowler who fields, and Sri Lanka take the single. 116 for 9, 4 balls left.
How was that conversation there? He's had a massive swing at the first ball, gets a big nick on it. Next ball, it's almost like a perfect home block, and his mate's down the other end.
Steps away, and there's a top edge, fielder underneath it, and England pull off the heist. Jacob Bethel ends up with 4 wickets. England defend 129. It's all smiles for the visitors, who round off this white ball series with a 3-0 series win. And for the second T20 in the series, Sri Lanka are bowled out inside their allotted overs. England win by 12 runs, and they will go to the T20 World Cup in good spirits. Sri Lanka, on the other hand, will be wondering how it is that they've lost that game.
Yeah, I actually think England won that game, though. They showed some real good cricket smarts to get the total that they did. Sam Curran obviously takes the lead on that. Butler, a nice cameo at the top, 25. Liam Dawson. But then the way that England went about and squeezed the game after an indifferent power play, but their spinners and how they fielded and how the captain was able to rotate the bowlers. He was smart in the modern world, getting the ball. He had options with off spin, left arm spin, leg spin. He's getting the ball predominantly turning away from the bat, making it hard on a pitch where it was inconsistent in spin, bounce, and to be able to play shots on. I think the captain does deserve some credit there. Obviously, Will Jackson in his 3 for, and Bethel 4 for. But I think the team performance from England, that was a galvanising performance for me from England, and a perfect timing going into a World Cup in the next week. So I think that's a really nice series win. It's not just a 3-0, it's how they've gone about it, it's how they've pulled together as a team, it's how they were competitive when the backs were against the wall. So I think there's a huge amount of positives there from England gelling as a team.